games, it's impossible to make top 4.
Yeah, it is looking pretty grim for them. And you were mentioning complexity. Of course, the other team so far in TI5 to have picked Techies kind of at the same time as we saw last time. We do have a little bit of a highlight reel of their kills with Techies and how they played their game out. But complexity, as we bring that highlight up and we start to watch it, complexity, like you said, doing really well. I think what you brought up, the fact that their only loss is against LGD, and that's already done for it. LGD is already ahead of them. It doesn't matter anymore for them. If they win the rest, they're going to be able to secure at least that second spot in the group.
And I think Tusk is also like a really nice ban just because it's a 2-in-1 pretty much. Because Techies is, I think, really weak without the Tusk. But as you can see, Complexity opting for the same combo, and it's a much different story when you don't have the armor buffer of Warcry and no Shallow Grave from the Dazzle. Yeah. And there's a lot of deaths, and it looks like IG has a lot more kills than they actually do because of suicides.
Yeah,
yep. Yeah, there you go.
And we were talking about having Techies against melee heroes. Just look at what IG has.
Yeah.
3 melee heroes.
Yeah.
It's a big problem, you know, with the mines. You can't really demine them effectively.
Yeah, and here's a Munch just hanging out.
Oh,
no. Oh, no. What a way to wrap that highlight up.
What a way to go.
Yeah, what a way to go, really, for the Bloodseeker there. But at the end of the day, so far, I think the bottom line of day 2 is Techies is a 100% win rate at TI5. So definitely the strongest hero at TI5 so far. I don't think anyone can beat that statistic. And we're just going to leave it at that. Hopefully no one picks Techies again. We'll end TI5 with a 100% win rate. That'd be pretty sweet. I'd be okay with that. As someone who didn't have to play against it at TI5. that's the qualification we have to put down. I didn't have to play against it, so it's pretty cool. But with that behind us, now we are moving forward. Secret will be playing again here on our mainstream. And, I mean, they looked solid, of course, against C9, kind of bringing out just what we would expect from Secret, right? Well-rounded draft, having a little bit of a backup plan, and then, of course, Techies coming out, knowing when to switch up the draft a little bit and bring out that flavor that they have and say, hey, all right, kicking it up, you thought you had a gear advantage over us, but how are you going to react now? Put the ball in your court. What are we expecting in their next match? Their next match will be up against Navi, who so far not doing too well coming into TI5.
I think it's just, more than anything, it's a good storyline, right? It's Puppy and Kuroki against their old team. Old teammates in both Dendi, Hvost, and Funnick. So, if nothing else, it's a great storyline there. I personally think Navi have not had a strong showing so far.
Yeah.
I mean, the scores say it as well, right?
Yeah.
They're bottom 2 right now in the group, I think.
Yeah, something like that. They've only played 3 matches, but
they're quite far down.
Yeah.
So, if Navi can get at least, I think 2-0 for Navi here is borderline dreaming in this matchup, judging from how the teams have played so far. But if they can at least clinch 1 win, at this point, every point matters a lot for Navi to try and have a shot at top 4. And even if you don't make top 4, making, for example, 5th at least gets you an easier entrance into the lower bracket.
True.
Which every placement matters.
Yeah.
So they definitely have a lot to fight for. I personally would say clear 2-0 Secret, but Navi might surprise.
I mean, Navi had a rough game against Complexity earlier today. Do you think, Ben, that's more in favor of just Complexity and giving credit to them, or Navi also just not showing up to play yet at TI5?
I think it's giving credit to Complexity. Complexity, I underestimated them when I saw the LGD game, and they just look a lot better. And I think taking a game versus IG is the more impressive part for Complexity. If they didn't take the game versus IG, I'd be like, well, okay, well, maybe Navi looked weak. But I think Secret versus Navi is a similar story to Secret versus Cloud9 in that Secret knows this team probably even better than Navi. And I agree, 2-0 for Navi is borderline dreaming. And getting 1 win, I think, is also very hopeful, but realistic.
Okay, what about you, Winter?
I think realistically for them, getting 1 point is already very, very difficult. I mean, not to say like 2-0. So they have not shown us that they can actually like even beat the weaker teams, like which what we thought. So it'll be a really difficult matchup for them.
All right. Now, I mean, for a lot of viewers who don't always, keep up to date with everything about, and we have a lot of viewers who only watch TI for Dota because they know that it's kind of the culmination of Dota 2. Navi, of course, is going to sound familiar, but it's not the same team that we saw, 3-4 years ago. There have been changes, as you mentioned. Now we have that storyline of kind of ex-teammates going at it against each other between Team Secret and Navi. But overall, the changes, I mean, the progression of Navi hasn't been all the up and up. I mean, where have things changed, and where can Navi find to kind of climb back into it? Do we think that maybe it's just a TI thing? Maybe they'll just find that groove at TI5 and be able to come back in? Or do you think this year it's really going to look tough.
Well, the storyline for them is that they have Art Style back, who was their captain, who led them to victory in TI1.
Right.
Obviously, Navi's most glorious moment in Dota 2. They've had 3 finals so
well,
at TI, so they've
fair.
had quite a lot of good. But yeah, he's back. He was after TI1. He actually was out of Navi. He played with Team Dare, I think, at TI2, and since then he just disappeared, more or less. And he suddenly came back here, returning to Navi for TI5. And I think his return has definitely helped Navi get in the right direction again. His leadership is definitely showing in their results. They've brought in Youngblood Soneko, who's been playing absolutely phenomenally, in my opinion. The best the standout player for Navi in the last half year, I think. He's been exceptionally good. And it's helped them. They're still not back to their former glory. I also don't think, there's still some things missing. There's, if you go back like 3 months, or 4 months maybe, the Navi back then it wasn't miserable, but it was definitely not looking good. And they've been making baby steps. Then they won the TI qualifiers, which a lot of people actually thought they wouldn't.
Exactly,
So they made the EU qualies. Realistically, though, with their performance here, hard to see them get even the top 8 that they managed to clinch last year.
Yeah, I mean, but I think you brought up a good point. The fact that a lot of people were even expecting them not to get through the qualifiers for EU, just because, of course, EU this year looking really strong coming to TI. We've been mentioning, again, if you got through the EU qualifiers, that stands for a lot. But Navi, as you mentioned, before that, people were like, man, I'm not even sure. Even as a Navi fan, I'm not sure if that's going to happen. That's what even Navi fans were saying. They're like, this year, it just looks really rough. But the fact that they went all the way through the qualifiers, secured a spot in the group stages, meant a lot. Now, do you think they're going to pretty much rest in the bottom 4 then have to fight through the bracket stages? Ben and Winter, what do you guys think?
I mean, it's definitely not looking good for them. I mean, the loss of Puppy as a captain is a big deal, and Art Style is probably a downgrade for that, but they just seem to lack a lot of chemistry. And it's only Soneko that really stands out for me. Like, some of the other guys I view as very good at their roles, but as a team, they just haven't really meshed together and have that chemistry to, dominate tier 1 teams. And they split versus MVP Phoenix as well, and I view MVP Phoenix as another bottom 4 of the group stage team.
Yeah, so overall not looking too good. Winter, of course, when you talk about Navi and you talk about players like Dendi, you got to talk about niche picks for sure. And of course, we were listening. We were like, well, I mean, what can we say about Navi? It's like, well, I guess, Pudge always comes up when you talk about Navi and Dendi. Do you think we're going to see that at any point during TI5?
It's, I think, very unlikely. You might actually see more techies, honestly, than Pudge.
What a time we
Techies
are in
and
to see more techies
What
than
a time
Pudge.
to be alive.
Yeah, but it's just sad because after the change up with the Chen, you can't send him back. It's, it's less, there's less advantage of picking the Pudge anymore. Of course, you can still pick him like a normal pick, like you just use him to gank, but there are so many heroes that do the job better and have better laning phase, have better carry potential. Like, Pudge is just like very risky, in my opinion. It plays towards the player, like Dandy is really good at it, but at the same time, it's extremely risky.
And I think the problem is the player for Navi who plays the Pudge. Of course, Dendi is very famous for it.
Yeah.
I think it's the most famous player-hero combination in all of Dota 2. Like,
I
we give a
would
lot
have
of
to
players
agree,
credit for how incredible they are with heroes, but he just made a name for himself with the
Yes.
hero. He plays mid. And back in the day, Pudge mid was actually pretty good. I think now it's one of Pudge's weakest roles. It's great to get levels, but you get crushed in lane, and you put no pressure on the opponent. I think in most cases when you pick Pudge, you either want to get him in an off-lane position, especially in Radiant, if you can see the enemy team will run 2-1-2, so you just get levels there without sacrificing mid lane, because you don't want farm anyway. Pudge is all about levels. Or you play him as a roaming position 4, which is super situational, in which case they would have to let one of their support players either play it instead of Dendi, who, they can probably not play like him, or then that support player would have to play the mid role. And do you want to do a switch up like that? It's hard to fit in a Pudge right now.
That is a
Navi.
pretty big
But I
swap
do
out.
think they will pick it once. They will pick it at least once to please the fans. And because realistically, the way
Fair.
things are going, they'll reach a point where they're like, okay, to use Ben's favorite word of the tournament, YOLO, right? They're just going to be like, you know what, YOLO, let's go for our Pudge, crash and burn, maybe it works.
Yeah, maybe it works. If it works, I mean, it's one of those moments, especially when you have a reputation like Navi, you can say that they're YOLOing it, but at the same time, if it works, you look like an absolute genius. The legend lives on. If it doesn't, it was still a great game for their fans. It was just a nice message to their fans. And the fact that, again, in the group stage, you're not knocked out. So if you know, like, all right, we're already bottom 4, our position's pretty much locked in, we might as well try if this works. Maybe we can save it for, like, another part at a do or die time in the bracket stage. It's just maybe a confidence booster for them to just get back in and say, listen, we all like playing Dota. That's where we're here. We talked about this earlier. Don't focus too much on the prize pool. Don't focus too much on being that champion. But just play each game as you would, or try your best to do that and see how far you move on. Now, aside from Dendi, what else are we looking at in the draft? Because, like, is there anything we really want to look out for in terms of picks or bans from Navi side? Because, of course, Secret, I mean, you could talk all day, but at the end of the day, they might surprise everyone else and bring out another hero to add to their pool.
The Wyvern, possibly, from Navi.
So more so for Navi than other teams. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, situational, any team is going to want to. There are situations where any team would favor that. But, okay, Wyvern, anything else that really stands out to you guys for Navi?
I think Winter Wyvern actually needs more talk about, just because Soniko is probably the best Winter Wyvern that I've seen. He plays it a different style too. He can play it like the defensive, Cold Embrace counter Winter's Curse, but I think like Winter's Wyvern on Dire, he puts a lot of pressure on the mid lane and the opponent's jungle in general, and Winter Wyvern is generally viewed as a very defensive support. It's unusual to play him like that, and it's difficult to counter just because you don't exactly know where he is, and usually they're just sitting behind their carry. So I think it's easier just to ban it out, and then everything else will come pretty naturally as Secret faces Navi.
Now, how important of a ban is that, though, right? So I'm assuming, are we talking still about like the second phase of bans, because the first phase is so cluttered with other bans you usually want to take?
I think it's okay to ban at first phase.
Yeah,
I'm-
because
That much?
specifically against Navi,
Yeah.
Right.
you do it
yeah.
because his teammates are always so aggressive. So it's like it not only works because he's very good at it, it's because of the way the whole team plays. Like Hovos is always diving and trying to get the best out of most situations. So when you have the Wyvern there, there's always this backup plan that you go in and there's someone to bail you up.
Okay. I mean, Sin, what are your thoughts? Wyvern, aside from Wyvern even.
I would like to see something, a little bit of flavor out of Funnick in the offlane. I'm guessing they won't get the Bounty Hunter, or if they do, they could definitely play it as an offlaner. I think Funnick is one of the best core bounties.
Okay.
The last time Navi picked it, they did put it on Soneko, but if they, they could build around that. A hero we've only seen once in this tournament that Funnick is actually really good at is Timbersaw. If, they might have to pull out something like that, where you see, because as we've talked about, Secret is actually a team that sometimes runs zero stun lineups. And then a hero like Timbersaw can actually become an absolute beast that they won't even think about in their draft because no one plays Timbersaw, right? Something like that, I think, could be a way for Navi to grab a game. Apart from that, I guess, Dendi in mid has been playing pretty standard picks so far. There hasn't been like any flavor there. Maybe you get Hvost his Weaver. That's another hero to highlight. Again, if it's a zero stun lineup, maybe even those two in combination, both Weaver and Timber. Lifestealer is good too for him. It's just not such a good hero in this version,
Right.
it seems.
I mean, if you have the Storm, if you have the right lineup around it, maybe it could work.
Puck.
They could actually
Yeah.
do Lifestealer plus a Vessel. That could actually
Yeah.
be interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and of course, as you've been mentioning, it's not only that Secret, sometimes they run those lineups that don't have any stuns, but at the same time, Secret themselves will open things up a lot, and that's what it takes to take advantage of Secret. Is like, all right, listen, you are that confident, we're going to pick up something that's completely flavor, not currently in the meta for any other team, but that's how we're going to get at least one map off of you guys. And Fnatic, of course, having done that already in TI5, so if Navi succeeds, they won't be the first, but at the same time, they may very well not be the last against Secret. But Secret's going to feel pretty good about their 2-0 against C9. Feeling a lot better than yesterday, I'm sure, after that Fnatic game. Again, like you guys mentioned, probably not going to bother them too much. On the other hand, Navi, a lot of pressure on them. Cindy, you were talking about the points before. Now, you guys were saying, I mean, Winter was saying he thinks it's hard to even get only 1 point as Navi. But, I mean, do you think from Navi's perspective, are they also looking at it that way? Or are they like, listen, 2-0 is our goal. If not, like, that's just what we're shooting for from the very beginning?
I mean, I don't think they can look at it as how difficult it is. They need to look at it, what we need to do now. We need a 2-0. Yeah. They can't be looking at it at like, okay, this is going to be hard. We are just going to be expecting to at least get 1 point out of this. I think it's not a good mentality to go into the match. You have to go into the match knowing what you need to do this game, like this series. We need 3 points, and we're going to try our best to do it.
Okay. Now, we were just seeing that you touched upon this briefly yesterday, I believe, Sin, about the Storm Spirits and how you weren't entirely convinced about the builds most people have been favoring on Storm Spirit, going for that Bloodstone first. Let's talk about that a little bit. We didn't get to talk about it too much on camera yesterday, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I guess that got prompted by the highlight we just saw of Dendi from last game. He went Bloodstone first. Has there been an Orchid for Storm yet? Maybe there's been like one. Everyone seems to go for the Bloodstone build.
I don't think so, because like Bloodstone first just generally makes you, it's safer in the sense where when you have the Orchid, you tend to play more aggressive and sometimes things go wrong. So Bloodstone is like the much safer build. Since you don't have the bigger potential to go for a kill, you tend to be farming more. So overall, in general, you get more farm because you have the Bloodstone.
It's just very the game that way. Like they're a team that will always go for the kill.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
if you put Dendi on a high impact hero, I don't think he can go for a defensive build. Like he's a player who plays Invoker with Blink 4 staff first items, right? Like he does not play the farming way. And I would not put Dendi on Storm Spirit to have him get a Bloodstone first. It seems like a waste. Like he needs to have an impact and set up the ganks for his team. That's always been his role, is what he's best at. Don't farm Dendi unless, like, if he has a Shadow Fiend, you have to, right? But even when he's Shadow Fiend, he likes going like Blink E-Blade builds, not in that order. There's like a BKB somewhere in between, but he just has that style that's his strength. And Navi, if there's one thing they have to do in this game, they have to play to their own strengths, else there's absolutely no way to win.
All right, well, we'll be going into the draft already underway between Navi and Team Secret for game 1 of their best of 2. And 2 heroes we've already discussed, Shadow Fiend and then the Bounty Hunter, also being banned out by Team Secret. So we won't be seeing either of those. But as we always mention, if Bounty Hunter's banned, there's definitely going to be at least one of the other high priority heroes that are going to be open, whether it's Quap, Tusk, of course, I mean, Lesh maybe. Oh, Gyra being banned out by Navi.
Interesting. It's one of Hwost's absolutely best carries. So they might... This ban is a little surprising to me. I think they have... either it's to not give a specific trade away, or they have a very particular plan for safe
They
and carrying
might
all
just want to go for a Quap without giving up a Gyro, possibly.
Possibly.
I'd like to see them pick something like a Quad, like get a good aggressive start in the mid lane. It's definitely the first step.
It's a very like suitable hero for Dendi, being so aggressive as a player. It fits his playstyle a lot.
Yeah, and Secret taking a little bit
There's
more
the
time.
Wyvern ban.
And there's a Wyvern ban. That means Lesh is also open.
Okay.
Through, and I was going to ask you guys, I mean, do you think Navi may be hoping, hey, maybe the Lesh gets open and we can select it if they are going to pick it up?
What is it Navi's current score is?
Navi's current score is, I believe, 2 ties, 1 loss.
I remember, so there was a game they won, and they stomped with Lesh. 25-minute game. So they got to go for it here.
I mean, Secret has done some weird stuff in the past to try and deal with the Lesh. We've seen Anti-Mage a fair amount. That's not uncommon. I think we saw them play Warlock once in the mid lane to somewhat try and deal with the Lesh spam.
Didn't they lose that
They
game?
did. They lost miserably, but it's still something that they've tried. And people have been seeking for counters to Lesh. Like if there were counters, he would be the first ban every time. So I'm just speaking of like things that teams have tried,
and the fact that they're willing to try that.
We've seen Nyx Assassin a lot in the off lane to try and deal with the Lesh Rag. We've seen Clockwork with a Blade Mail, been very successful, I would say. But I'm curious to see if they're going to pick Quap for S4 or something else.
Okay, well, Naka being picked up for now. Still one more pick for Secret. We'll see what else they want to secure here before we go into the next ban.
Maybe a Viper would be a better matchup against Lesh compared to Quap.
Okay.
I mean, I think giving Navi Leshrac and Quap though is
then again
really scary.
Then again, that would be a big problem.
Because Havos can play Leshrac as well as Funnick being able to play Quap. So I think they're super flexible.
And Hwost can play Quap too.
Yeah.
So they actually have a lot of options.
Yeah, there we go. So
I think the Lesh versus Naga matchup, like if you look at mid game, and even if Naga gets decently farmed, Leshrac is actually one of the really good cores at dealing with Naga. So that trade-off, a core Naga, exactly. That trade-off for Navi is actually not that bad if it is what Secret is thinking.
Yeah, and the Tusk slips through too, so now he's going to secure that one instead of the Quap. Should be pretty happy about that one.
It's a pretty good opener for Navi, I would say.
I think this is the kind of start they could hope for.
Yeah.
In the draft.
The dream draft.
And that said, Team Secret get 2 of their absolute best heroes. So, but I don't know how Navi could have really prevented this with the opener. Like banning out the Shadow Fiend, I think is reasonable when Secret are Radiant, and then the Gyro set them up for this potential trade. Whereas if they hadn't banned Gyro and they would have got Lesh, they might have given away, say, Gyro Quab instead of Naga Quab. That could have been even worse.
I think you
perhaps.
have to ban Dazzle when you're Navi against them, just because of their playstyle in general. Not only because Secret is good with it, but just because they go for kills.
Right.
often.
Yeah, I was pretty happy to see that. And in general, I mean, we've seen
Yeah,
that ruin
and
a
Dazzle
lot.
kind of makes you overextend.
Yes, because you have to. I mean, because you've already committed so much, you want to secure the kill, but then the fight's still going on.
Let's see if Secret can ban target Soneko with the first 4 bans. So far it's 3. It just speaks to his strengths, right?
Yeah,
If
I
a
mean-
team respect bans your position 4 with their first 3 bans, he is pretty good.
Yeah, that does say a lot.
There's still a Rubik for him.
Yeah, that's really. They might actually ban it because it's pretty good.
Yeah, there is one more
Yeah.
ban left.
Blink,
before we go
Sonic
to-
Wave. Arguably, you don't ever steal Song. It does happen, but it shouldn't happen.
He plays Disruptor too. I think Disruptor's really good versus Naga and Queen.
That's true. That might be a better ban, actually.
Okay. Well, either way, again, I mean, if it's 4 bans against Soneko, that's pretty impressive for him.
Well, it's also because their other players are really flexible. So, I mean, it's not only because Soneko is really, really good.
I feel like he's just as flexible as the others, though.
Yeah.
He has a really big hero pool for.
Ban
For such a-
4 of 20.
All right. Well, for Secret, I mean, so you guys were talking about this briefly before. Naga, are we looking at? Do you think it's going to be a core, or are we looking at?
I think
support?
support. I don't remember the last time they ran
Yeah,
core
they
Naga.
haven't been running
Yeah.
core Nagas for a long time. Like
Mhm.
they've been playing much more aggressive, and support Naga seems to fit their playstyle more. They take fights, they start up early fights, and very strong in the lane, allows them to do a lot of stuff. So I feel support Naga is something Secret are the stronger at the point of time in the current meta.
Does Navi play techies?
I don't recall.
I wouldn't put it past them, for sure.
What? Yeah, sounds like something.
But I also wouldn't pass them. We just had a stat on.
I mean, they obviously can play it, but whether they want to
To.
play it, yeah.
Okay, so Blood Secret banned out, and then the Bane being secured for Secret.
And Bane has been the sleeper pick though, like figuratively. Like I'm very surprised. Like I don't
He is
remember the
also
last
a
time
sleeper pick.
I saw him picked, like in before TI. Like he was just gone
Yeah.
completely, and he was really popular in the Mirana era, but now they don't even use him as a setter. It's like Bane,
Right.
Lina, Bane, Lesh, Bane, Mirana were the main 3, or as a life stealer counter.
He
And
did receive a buff in 6.84.
he did.
Yeah, Brain Sap got buffed. It's a lot better.
Oh,
Mana
okay.
cost is a lot lower on lower levels.
Okay.
I think. So he's like.
Oh, and the Nightmare Vision, too.
Nightmare Vision. Oh, I can't remember.
I forgot. Like if you nightmare someone, they can't.
They
see.
lose all vision.
Yeah, they
Oh,
lose
yeah,
all
that's
vision.
right.
I
Oh,
actually
okay,
forgot
yeah.
about that buff. too.
That's arguably not the reason it gets picked. I think.
That's. I mean, that's a
It's-
pretty big buff.
Yeah, but it's super situational, right? A lot of the times when you use Nightmare, you don't really care. It's cool on occasion.
It's cool at best, but you know, it doesn't really
It's-
achieve
it's
anything.
cool.
But
I
anyway,
like
if you remember the old Bane, Brain Set was actually so expensive. Like I think it was 150 or 175 on level 1. Now it's 125, I think. So you can cast it that extra time in lane, which makes it really big.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And its
actually
damage also
very
got buffed
helpful.
on level 1. It used
Very
to be 75,
helpful.
now it's 90.
Very
the
helpful for a
skills better.
support Bane.
Yeah, true. Undying did
Oh,
get
the,
past
the
us.
pressure lane, Undying Tusk.
This is really
Wow.
Navi picks. This is very, very good for them.
Well, I mean, that's what Navi has to do, as you guys said, so...
This is Art Style's best hero, in my opinion, Undying. So I'm expecting him to play support Undying rather than putting it in a core position. Art Style shines when he's playing tanky strength supports.
Night Stalker.
And he has a background of playing, of course, at TI1 he was playing tanky position 1s. He was playing Viper and Night Stalker mainly as his 2 heroes at that point. And now he likes still playing his Night Stalker as a support, but Undying is also a very good pick for him. Spirit
Yeah.
Breaker, another hero that Art Style plays.
Going off of what Winter said, like, obviously part of it is thanks to the meta, but I can't help but think that in almost every one of our matches, a hero gets picked, and since this, I can't help but say that this is definitely one of these players' best heroes, and it just comes down, we're like, all right, well, I mean, I guess we're at TI5, we do have all the best players in the world, but to say
Yeah,
at this point
that's
that we
true.
have the conglomerate, but almost every time after you say that, we have seen that come out as a testament in game, so I'm not going to blame you for that one. I just find it a little bit amusing, and it speaks to where we are in the meta and just what a great tournament we're having so far and what players we have gathered at TI5 for sure.
So do Secret want to... Okay.
Oh,
Because they haven't been... Puppy plays an incredible Mirana if they wanted to try to go for the roaming duo and play a core Naga. But at this point, it's pretty much set that it's...
Yeah.
it's
Core Naga versus Lesh is really terrible.
They have a
and
very
don't-
clear plan now.
Yeah.
Right.
Anti-Mage is going to be split pushing. They don't want to fight into what Navi have because they have the Sigil plus the Tombstone is just plus the Lash as well. So
Yeah,
you're
as
not
long as they get Naga 6, they should be A-okay in team fights. Like the Song of the Siren is, I think it should have dissuaded the Tuscan and Dying pick, as we've seen I think a couple times in this tournament. But I think like Naga Siren counters that like really difficult, especially when you can outlate game the other team. So the pressure's already on Navi to somehow either keep Naga or Anti-Mage really underfarmed, because you don't want Naga to get 6, so you can actually make use of Snowball as well as Tombstone, and obviously you don't want Anti-Mage to get huge so he can deal with the Lashrak. But again, this is one of Secret's most common game plans versus the Lashrak. Get Anti-Mage big, Mana Void, and just 5-man their whole team.
It's going to be interesting to see how Navi approach the laning stage, and if Secret are going to make the right lane switches if Navi go aggressive, because this is, on paper, a lane Anti-Mage cannot play. If there's an aggressive trial with Undying Tusk plus anything that breathes, he can't win that lane, I think, with those two supports. So even with the buff to Bane, I still think they will not win that lane. But you do see Navi still respecting here. They want a counter pick to both AM and Quab, of course, 2 blinking heroes, so they do get the Hex from line. In my opinion, Navi would be making a big mistake to not challenging it. I think no matter how the lanes are put, they need to challenge Arteezy so that their Lesh can feel more comfortable going into the mid game, and also in that way they are going to probably set up Huos for a better game too, because he will get ahead on farm, and also more than likely he will have an okay matchup. He's actually a very, very good player. This is something that I don't think is enough emphasis is put on when you talk about Navi. He's very good at playing one-on-one. He's actually, in my opinion, one of the absolute best carry players at winning his lane in a one-on-one matchup. But it just very rarely happens these days. But if Navi can force it to happen, give him his Weaver, give him his Lifestealer in a Lifestealer versus melee matchup, and he is hyper aggressive and plays it to the limit. So that could be a potential play.
Okay, well, PL being bent out by Secret, one of those carry options for Navi.
How does the Anti-Mage match up versus PL? It's not that bad for him, is it?
I mean, Anti-Mage peaks faster, but if they are both at the same level of farm, obviously PL would be much stronger. So, I mean, there's different windows of both of the heroes. Who is stronger?
Oh, that's
I was about to say that, hey, is Broodmother going to make it all the way through? Because, I mean, sure, we had the Leshen Dust, but there it goes, banned out, and then the Enchantress being picked up right after.
Cornaga.
Huh.
Or Core Bane for, I think it's a Core Bane for Zai. Also.
Oh, yeah.
They like playing that, actually.
Offlane Bane?
Yeah,
and this is really interesting, because there's no way Navi would have expected this. Like, I think Secret has used it 1 or 2 times. Zai's offlane Bane with Blade Mail. The legend. And actually, this is a good Blade Mail game. You want to, if you can put it into your lineup somehow, 1 or 2 Blade Mails against Lashrak is another way of dealing with him, until he gets BKB, of course. But
right.
This is catching Navi off guard for sure, and they don't have time to adapt, because they're out of time.
Yeah, they used all their time earlier. Yes. And Klink's coming out for Navi.
Good one-on-one hero for Hwost. I can agree with this. The weakness of Klink's in this matchup, however, is that he is 100% physical damage, so you can actually lose that lane to Enfeeble. And Zai will, knowing Zai, he's probably going to put 2 points in Enfeeble and leave it there, just for the laning stage.
Counter with Searing Arrows. They're about the same damage.
Okay.
Searing Arrow, level 1.
Yeah, it's pretty reasonable.
Level 2 Enfeeble is the same as level 4 Searing Arrows. It's
I mean,
not really
you only
a fair
lose
matchup.
the mana cost is really. I mean, there's not that many heroes that can actually last hit through Enfeeble. I think Klink is actually one of.
Yeah, he has a chance. Yeah. That's very true.
He has a chance.
He has a chance. Well, it's better than starting at just complete loss, but he has a chance here.
That's Enfeeble for you. That's
come out of the laning phase. So, sure, a little bit of a curveball, but Navi's still feeling all right about their draft. I mean, especially the early phase. They played that out pretty well, secured the Lash, got the Tusk afterwards, too. On the flip side, Secret eventually rotating that Naga back into a core position, or possibly a support, and then the Bane going that off lane. So still a curveball against Navi. Let's find out how it pans out in Game 1 between Navi and Team Secret.
It's a fighting lineup from Navi.
Yep, it is. And it's time also for us to welcome all the viewers tuning in from the streams. If you're watching there or if you're watching in Dota TV or on YouTube, does not matter. Very welcome to you guys. Hope you enjoy this series between Secret and Navi.
Hi! it's going to be, I'm hoping it's going to be a bit of a cracker. So Navi, everyone together, We got a 5-man smoke movement into the Radiant jungle. Arteezy is, however, playing King of the Hill. He'll walk in close now. Havors is the first man.
He's
going
scouting.
into Skeleton Walk, so we can see up. He won't be able to see
they're
Puppy. He
going.
just slipped around the corner. It's a 4-man snowball going into Arteezy. They go with the Hex and the Stunner. And goodbye, Arteezy. The hatred is real, and the first blood is brilliant.
Yeah. Artstyle is going to secure that one on the Undying. A good start for him. Going to get earlier boots. But they're still trying to contest the bottom rune if they possibly could with Secret. Those 2 Observer Wards was
Wait,
a misplay.
What? That had to be a set. Like, it meant to be. Oh,
yeah,
and both of them.
Oh, God. Well, he
Both.
hasn't seen the other one.
I know, if
Let's pray, Toby. He's not going to walk that way.
If he walks up to look at the rune,
No, don't look
he's
at
going to take it.
He can't look at the rune. They got that unlocked.
You could look at the rune, man.
No, look at Tusk. He would fuck you up.
So Dendy's going to get one, and S4's going to take the other. So it is going to go to the mid laners. Arteezy, well, R-Style's going to just decay Arteezy and harass him away, which means a blink. And this bottom lane, there's no one there. Kuro and Zai have head up towards the top lane, so they're going to run a Bane core off lane with the support of the Naga Siren. Actually, is that even the case here?
Zai has played offlane core Bane before. He rushed the Blade Mail. That was when a lot of people were doing the Blade Mail rush on Bane. So I believe we're going to see that again very good in this game against Leshrac and against Lion. These heroes are really not going to deal well with that.
And he instantly enfeebles Havors. So Havors currently does
Terrible.
12 damage. Like,
Terrible lane for him.
Techies, it actually does more damage than Clinks does right now.
Yeah, Techie deals 3 times as much damage as this Clinks.
Huge. Massive.
Massive.
Crazy.
Crazy strong. So he is getting help. They realize the lanes and they're bringing up the Undying and Lion here, trying to wrap around. But Bane, pretty fast hero and also pretty tanky. He's just gonna walk out.
Yeah. Just have a bit of a run. Dendy and S4 is also having a little bit more of a battle. R-Style, be careful with this. The creep wave might have been pulled back up again. He just keeps that decay going.
Yeah. Also, rip to anyone who took Toby's bet there. The
first blood
Harpy.
being from a Harpy.
Yeah, Navi were 2 on top of that. Oh, look at the ganking creeps from Puppy.
Hey, you couldn't ask
The
for better creeps. Like,
dream.
okay, you're still going to get a kill from this. S4, all he's got to do is Shadow Strike. If he can blink and Shadow Strike Dendy, he'll slow him down. The Centaur will tank up the entire tower.
pursuit.
And TP support's coming in. The trap into the stomp. Dendy will look for the stun. He doesn't hit Puppy, but
Puppy's
then
going
again,
down.
Puppy, he can't finish the job. The lightning bounce. Where is that troll attack? The
Salve.
salve. He'll actually cancel the salve, but Dendy survives. That's more important than S4. Seneko, one last attack, can't get it. The blink away from S4. 2 kills in a row now for coming in for Navi.
Yeah, that is huge there. Dendy living. He has to run back to base, but Suneko's can be very happy to take the mid lane while he's gone. So this can actually give some well-needed experience as well for that. Just those 2 creeps that Lion got there.
Should also flag bottom lane. So, yes, RTZ died early on, and Funnick got a little bit more space in the lane. But he is a full level in front of Arteezy, not to mention a crap ton of farm.
Yeah, he's hitting really hard, and just having the boots, Stout Shield, and Quelling Blade this early on. And also the Mango there, in case he ever needs mana against the Anti-Mage. This is
They
a
can
great
kill
item.
him. Soneko's here with a haste rune on the other side of the tree
Yeah,
line.
he wants to, but
if he wants to run in, there's
I
still
think
a
it's too
dire
hard.
creep wave here, but Funny's got no mana, so yep, Soneko in for the stun.
They
He
can.
does have a follow-up Hex. They're just trying to, okay, run away. That's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, well, they can't kill him under tower there, and there's so much regen on this Anti-Mage as well that he's perfectly fine. He started with 8 tangles and a salve, so he doesn't mind at all that they try to kill him under the tower, because they're not strong enough. If he uses Mango, he would be able to use 1 spell as Tusk, but it wouldn't be enough.
So, Havorst working with Art Style to try and keep that life low. If he doesn't have a lot of damage, just remove the life points from the Bane. That's one way to work it.
I would not be surprised to see multiple points being put into the Enfeeble in this game by Bane, just because how hard it can counter the Clinks. He only has right-click. That's all he has to his name. So if you get at least 2 points, maybe go even harder, but 2 points is enough, I think, and then just skill 3 into Brain Sap and your ulti, and you're going to be pretty fine.
Kuro's trying to zone Dendy out. He's not coming in for a kill. He's just making sure he's in a visible area that Dendy does not want to come close to S4.
Yeah.
And it's successful. Dendy right now is really crippled in CS. He's 6'4", and he only just went up to 6 just then because of his lightning.
Yeah, he is hurting in CS for sure. He has his bottle coming out right now, but he has to recover. It's a good thing for him that he didn't die, and he was part of 2 assists there at least.
Yep.
So he's not doing terrible. But yeah, Anti-Mage on bottom lane is getting the undisturbed free farm actually this game. I'm not going to say completely undisturbed, but he is farming a lot.
Are you still looking for the blade mail coming out from Zai? Because he's okay. He picks up a bottle. I was wondering what his extra money was for. But he's gonna go a bottle Bane.
Yeah, it's a good start to get the bottle just to be able to lane a little bit more. And they are putting aggression with the Naga and the Bane up here, trying to keep this Klinks from farming. Because if Klinks can finish up an early Deso or an early Orchid, he would be punishing the AM so much.
There's the Enfeeble. Force having a bit of a fun battle. They can't get the Ensnare and there's no detection for Team Secret on this top lane. But Avorst running down. The Courier's going to come into an Avorst. Well, he looked both directions. Now the Tombstone dropping down Zai. There's 3 stick charges available. And he's trying to bottle charge in between the attacks. Brainstab, he turns on Avorst. Kuro, a little bit more damage. Bane, he will eventually go down.
Zombies.
And Saneko also on the way in. Following up with a stun. Kuro with one last Riptide and stick charges, but he will go down. Artstyle picks up the double kill.
Artstyle getting such a good start here on his Undying, and he's level 4 after that. They did, however, lose their Klinks, but that's still a good trade for them. Especially as the Klinks was having quite a hard time farming straight up on this lane, so helps him a lot.
Puppy smoke moving in towards the mid.
Yeah.
He's only got a Hellbear as well as a Dark Troll Summon on that. Hellbear's only got 10 seconds left on it.
Yeah, he has to go soon then.
He's looping around. He's going to come in behind the tower. S4's ready. He's got Sonic Wave and double damage. The stun off target. Bay might kill if I'm dying in the meantime. But S4 takes the kill in the mid.
That timing on the Hellbear, he gets the clap, gets the last hit with it, and then immediately dies afterwards. So the timing on the gank was very well done by Puppy.
Bane also got 300 gold for that kill on the Undying.
Oh yeah.
It was a 3-kill streak.
On the Klinks, you mean?
No,
Undying.
Undying.
They killed Undying.
He killed Undying on the top lane.
True.
Funnick. Hello. S4. Troll Trap is up. They're still the end of that double damage rune, and they're trying to go deep, so he has to snowball up, at least up to the high ground, and Funnick no way down. Enchantress will take the last hit, and that's 1,300 gold into the Enchantress, while Kuro being stunned and hexed. Dendi looking for the fault stun, he'll get in range, and with the help of Artstyle, they find themselves another kill for Navi.
9 kills already, just 6 minutes into the game, action all over here. And they just keep looking to turn up the heat as Artstyle runs up top and tries to zone away Zai from this top lane.
Is that possible to do so?
They gotta, yeah, they might even dive him actually because they have Lion coming in from behind. Soneko, never stop Soneko. Okay, sometimes stop, back out.
Well, with the Observer Ward there, they know what they're up against.
Yeah.
And Puppy isn't coming to help him out. Like, Puppy keeps finding, like, these Centaurs, Trolls, Wild Wings. They're the roaming gankers, not the lane presence something like a Wild Wing would, a Harpy would give you. But Navi, okay, they are committing heavily. Kuro's up here, no level 6. And Saneko, well, can he even get close enough? They're going to see him walking up the stairs in a moment. He's right on the edge, or he was right on the edge of the vision.
Yeah, he was. Funnick is here as well, and he wants to get the snowball, but he has to get it from straight ahead, and that's very difficult.
Zai.
Can they go?
It's a long way up. Kuro going to rip-tide in. The snowball goes over on Zai, but Saneko is snared up, and well, where's your way out? S4's going to arrive. No Sonic Wave, but Zai still alive with the one charge and bottle charges. The minions are chasing him down. The Undying Tombstone is what kills him, and S4 and Kuro, they're having the same problem. It's the Walking Dead right now as S4 retreats back as far as he could possibly go, but Funnick chasing, he's got Snowball available, and now he realizes he's all alone.
Yeah, I can't believe they got away there with the Undying and the Lion.
He's going on S4 with the stop, and he gets
got him
before the blink.
That was so close to the end of the animation there on the blink. Tusk gets this solo kill, 467 gold. All the while we're seeing this. Antimage is farming bottom and pushing as much as possible, but his team is getting the worst end of these trades in the fights.
What does Puppy do with his 2,000 gold?
Midas?
Well, he'll probably already have the recipe for that if he was going to do it already.
I don't know. No need to purchase it. No need to show that you're going Midas, I guess.
Dendi?
Yeah, he actually picks up the Midas immediately, and that's going to be the build. It gives nice attack speed and also gives you more levels on Enchantress, which she desperately needs, actually. Especially as you start running around a lot, ganking. When you go into these games such as this one, roaming around and controlling the game for your team is important.
Especially the way that Puppy plays Enchantress.
Yeah.
Because I know we have had this discussion previously about Chen and how you hit like that 30-40 minute mark and Chen just really falls off. You're meant to win before that point. Enchantress is the jungler that gives you that early presence, but gives you a lot of damage in the later portion of the game. The
She does.
impetus damage from Enchantress is really, really strong with the Ags upgrade.
Yeah, and it can also hit people in BKB. And meanwhile, we see a little smoke here by Navi running down, trying to do something about the free farm from Arteezy. Remember, he only has that one death because he died before the creep spawn. Didn't really set back his farm or anything, just gave gold to the enemy.
Yep.
So he's been doing very well down here.
Very patient
Oh,
behind
he
the
knows.
tower. Yeah, he read this coming.
Look at the illusions in the dire jungle. Like, Nagasiren has scouted this out. She knows that there's no one here. But Puppy, though.
Yeah, Poppy might die. There's just Snowball coming in. Stars surprise. He's got 2 points up and untouchable. It's not the... Okay, well, I was going to say not the quickest kill, but they commit Tombstone and Punch.
I mean, you're not untouchable when Tusk comes. Tusk and his ulti, it will definitely mess with you.
Yeah,
Even the Windrunner evasion or any evasion is not going to save you from Walrus Punch.
but with the 3-man rotation that you just said, including committing a smoke, you didn't kill the Animage, which was your priority, and you've still got top lane where Kuro is now turning into a core. Like, you got both Bane as well as Nagasiren at level 6 on this top lane.
Yeah, they decided that, okay, we farmed up the Bane until he had his bottle, boots, and magic wand, and then we're trying to give over the farm to Nagasiren so that she can turn
If
into
they
something.
don't kill Kuro straight away here, they're getting out.
Yeah.
And in fact, he sees Suneko coming up. They start with the decay, Kuro, Song of the Siren, the stun, and the Hex. They've got up with the Nightmare on Denny. He may not have enough damage. Okay, they will kill Kuro. Zai,
Diving.
low life in the tree lane. He's got Fiend's Grip available. Not going to use it when he's this deep in, however. So they find another one. It's a
Navi,
4-man
10 and
gank
4.
train.
Navi's doing great in this game, and S4, he is playing as Queen of Pain, looking here to find anything. Could kill the Courier, could ulti the Courier if he feels scared to go for it, as it does hit the Courier with its damage.
The 10 to 4 looks good for Navi, but I still feel it's very, very deceptive for who has the advantage.
Oh, it always is. Anti-Mage is never going to play in much towards the kills, unless it's a really weird game.
But it's also the gold overall. Like, it's 750 still going the way of Secret when you're 6 kills behind. The experience, which when you get a lot of kills you think would be in front, it's actually 2,000, was 2,500 at one point, going the way of Secret.
I mean, that's what happened when you run Enchantress with jungling and Midas, though. You get so much experience from that, and sometimes when you gank a lot, you're just spending a lot of time running around finding ganks. But I don't think the levels hurt them that much. They have level 6 on Lion now. They have level 6 on Undying. I don't think the experience difference is that hurtful for Navi.
Maybe I'm just looking at it from the other perspective of Secrets just not being slowed down. And they're basically running a 4-core lineup with this.
Pretty much, yeah. But
Bottom lane, Arteezy's got to get out of here. Avos right behind him. Snako and Arstar making them move. Snako can't get the Hex in time.
yeah,
He tried to come inside the smoke, and there's a lot of support around the corner.
Without the Tusk, they can't really go like that. If they had Tusk and Lion coming in instead of Tusk and Undying and Lion, they would have been able to snowball and chase after, even when he blinks. But
Arteezy just bailed.
Yeah.
The second he realized they're all there, he just TP top. So he's up there with Kuro.
that's how it goes. Whenever you see that a lot of people are invading your lane when you play Anti-Mage, just skip that lane, go somewhere else, put pressure onto towers, and make the enemy regret that they're not there.
And how do you even take it from here? Okay, Arstar let off the tombstone very early on, but he can easily keep it alive. It's the undead minions.
Mid
He's trying to
tower.
battle. Okay, middle lane. They go for Zai with the Hex. Then he follow up the Pulse Nova. Finger of Death. S4 dropping insanely low. Zai's still taking a lot to kill him off, but eventually he will die.
Yeah, just barely not getting the kill on Queen of Pain there. Nice try with the finger and so on from Suneko.
They still didn't like. Okay, so you killed off the Bane. Wonderful. We are classing him as a core in this game for Secret because they're running the 4-core. But you didn't take the Tier 1 tower in bottom lane. Arteezy still farming up the top lane by intercepting the creep wave and dropping that Tier 1 tower down with more damage than Navi did to the bottom Tier 1 tower, and that was when they committed Tombstone as well.
Yeah, I think the most important part for Navi is that they start getting stuff on their clinks. Like, yes, they can't really stop Secret, but that's because Secret is a very heads-up team. Whenever you go for a gank or a rotation, they're going to be somewhere else putting pressure or farming. That's how it's always going to go. So
Wow,
stopping
Puppy.
completely is hard.
Okay, 2 Searing Arrow attacks from Havorst drops Puppy down to about 15% of his health.
Yeah, Clinks is extremely strong. However, he doesn't have good mana regen in this game. He could use a Soul Ring or something else, like Soul Ring or Bottle even.
He's got the Ring of Aquila as well as
It's not
Medallion. It's
I played a lot of Clinks. This puts you at a decent mana, but when you start running around a lot, you have to run the base sooner or later.
the Puppy Mud Golem coming in behind on Suneko on the top lane. Just trying to force him back out.
Actually,
I think he wants it to die right now so he can get the doubles.
still struggling to take any tower, as Secret are defending really well here. As you said, the Mud Golem and the Illusion together, working hard.
Well, how do you push into it in the early stage?
Early stage is just difficult. You always need to kill the enemy before you push. So you need to use the Tombstone in a way that you have the Tombstone on the tower and get the kills there.
I love this Bash brother. Phonic jukes it perfectly, and now Poppy realizes he doesn't find him.
The two little stunlings.
It's still nice watching
Stuns on
the
Soneko
micro control.
incoming.
It is the doubler.
They hurt quite a bit as well, 125 damage each. But yeah, this is 111 CS, looking at 14 minutes on Anti-Mage. So he's getting really, really fat. He is very close to finishing up his Battle Fury after Power Treads.
Okay, again, do we look at the clock here? Navi have an Anti-Mage that's getting massive on Team Secret against them. Isola track Anklings at a point where they can deal with him at the moment, or at least deal with him in the next 20 minutes when they're going to be looking to push and take towers.
I don't look much towards the Leshrac for that. I look completely towards the Clinks.
Woo! Okay, well that was a fun little battle for Leshrac, and now Arstar doesn't want to really be part of this one either. Zai, Arstar is going to drop to the last attack. They get rid of the Tombstone while keeping Soneko onto Arteezy. Maybe with the Finger of Death, it's enough damage to kill him. He'll blink away, Brain Step off cooldown in 2 seconds time, and that will be enough for Zai to get the kill.
Jukes.
He needs the vision. Soneko around the trees, into
Oh,
the corner.
nice
He'll
Duke.
see him, but now, okay, Brain Step doing the work. He has some help with the Impetus.
That was a complete disaster, losing Undying Lion and your Leshrac core. And Queen wasn't even there during that fight. That was just the Bane and Anti-Mage wrecking you guys. So.
And Anti-Mage didn't even have a damage-dealing item. Now he's got both of them on the courier. That's the Battle Fury done for Arteezy.
Oh, Bane is TPing up top. He wants to fight this. Gets a sleep onto a Tusk, and that might be enough to secure the kill here.
Oh, Walrus Punch is going to send Zai flying, but
Oh, they're not
no
going to
slow.
pursue.
No Shadow Strike from S4 to slow him down.
I thought he was going to slow him down and then let Kuroki come up, but he was a little bit too far away, I suppose. They couldn't really get that one.
The Battle Fury farming has begun. Now, at this point, Arteezy is 475, almost 500 actually with that camp, gold per minute.
Yeah, you
This is under 16-minute Battle Fury.
Yeah.
And it's not even a rushed one. He still bought PMS, Treads, and a casual Ring of Regen.
That's very fast considering how every team is trying their best to do something to stop the Anti-Mage. But in this game, Navi, despite their best efforts, despite killing him before the creeps even spawned, they can't really stop this.
But they haven't touched him since that point. Like, he's only one death on Arteezy.
They tried, but he had very good awareness. He backed out when he knew the smoke was coming. Good scouting from Kuroki and just a warning from their team in general. Like, Secret is a very composed team.
Arteezy now going to mop up the creeps in the mid. While Navi being a little bit more defensive for Vorst. Still want to keep eyes on him. Looks like we're going to see an early Desolator build from Clinks. Nothing unusual with that.
Yeah,
but it does flag
normal.
me. Yeah, Roshan needs to be a priority target for Navi.
Oh, definitely, yeah. It's definitely high up on your list. I like what Zai is doing, just giving some bottle charges over to Arteezy so he can keep farming without having to back after killing the Ancients.
And then move into gank with S4.
Oh, they're not going on mid.
They didn't get spotted. They ran up high enough that the Sentry Ward didn't reveal it.
Yeah. I thought they...
They're moving over for a smoke gank of Navi's own.
Yeah.
So there's smoke over on our style, and he'll just do a 3-man smoke.
Yeah, they want to find the Anti-Mage, but he's farming a lot on Ancients right now as he realizes his own jungle is not that safe. Puppy comes in and heals him as well. And they're also keeping tabs on Roshan.
Yeah, it's the Chen army sitting inside the pit. And he managed to sneak it in there while Navi were trying to go for the smoke gang. So they'll see the Centaur running, but now they'll understand that everyone else from Secret is currently on the north side. Arteezy, blink
so
away!
close.
The Searing Arrow
Yeah.
is going to disjoint with that last blink. If that connected, he'd be dead right now.
Yeah, Hovost was there. He was waiting as Arteezy blinked in on that camp. Almost got the kill with that. But the fact that Anti-Mage lived through that is a testament. This Clinks needs more farm. When you get such a nice prediction of the Anti-Mage movement and still can't kill him, that is hurtful.
Shows just how strong he is. In the meantime, Tier 1 tower brought down by Navi. So Tuskar, the man with the last hit, already got that Blink Dagger on the Tuskar. So good initiation available for him. Zai scouting out. Actually, it's the Naga Illusions which are scouting out, but it's seeing Artstar just walk in, drops the Tombstone. They Walrus Punch on the other side and Finger of Death him.
Yeah.
That's some hatred to the Bane.
Yeah, they still game despite the amount of vision that was contributed by Kuroki. Kuroki is doing a really good job keeping up the scouting a lot, and he still managed to find some farm for himself as well.
And
But
goodbye, puppy.
they lose 2 heroes there.
That's a big kill for him too. That's 591 gold
Yep.
for Klinks, just for killing off an
And
Enchantress.
that's his entire Desolator, I believe, as it's being delivered on the courier now.
You're right,
I
it
think.
is.
Yeah. So he's really... Now he's hitting that peak where he has Medallion and Desolator and can kill anything. Roshan, heroes, towers, anything is a good target for him.
Well, he'll start with Ancients and then move on to bigger and better things. Danny's also looking pretty good on his way to that Bloodstone.
Yeah, he needs to get some mana boots for his team all the time, else this Klinks has to run to base. But they do have plenty of mana boots in the team, though.
They're just not slowing down Arteezy. So, okay, he's 1-1-2, but with Vlad's Battle Fury, Tread's PMS, and now on the way to completing a Mana Style, like he's only got the Blade of Alacrity, so I'm not going to write home saying, hey, Mana Style already before 20 minutes. But it's still an insanely strong anti-mage this early on in the game.
Yeah, it is. It is. Like, normally, the old timing for Battle Fury into a straight Manta style without Vladimir's, a good timing was roughly 22 to 24 minutes. And he looks like he could maybe hit that timing even with buying a Vladimir's first. So Antimage is getting really strong this game.
Yep. And so is Puppy. That Hand of Mine is still going to work. He's got the point booster for his Aghanim Scepter. Make it a little bit more difficult for Revorst to kill him off straight away. But right now, Revorst wants bot lane, waiting for that pick off on Zai.
He needs one guy to help him.
But that TP support that just came in might flag to Zai. He should back up. Because they have an Observe Ward in the lane.
They do. He's going to back off.
Well, he still hasn't done it yet. And now, your attack, Nightmare, in and around the corner.
Oh, lightning doesn't
S4
bounce.
was thinking about jumping in.
Danny was hoping for lightning to bounce all the way over there, but he managed to get far away. Far away with the Bane. And meanwhile, they see a lot of people moving down bottom with that lane ward. Means they are just trying to move away, push other lanes.
The Mud Golem Scout.
Throw those stunts.
And Zai keeps his distance. S4 moving up to top lane,
It's
waiting for
rush
someone
time.
to try and defend against Arteezy.
Yeah, no one will defend against Arteezy though. I think they're going to trade a tier 2 tower top for Roshan.
The Naga Illusion's in there though, so they know that Roshan's being done.
Yep.
And you do have Song of the Siren available, but like, how quick can you bring down the tier 2 tower before Navi can finish Roshan?
This is not a very good trade for Navi. For Secret is pretty good. They get a tower and they run Anti-Mage. Getting tier 2 towers is really huge. So they're very happy with what's going on.
They might even force TPs back, because they're already knocking on the door of the tier 3 tower.
They should. They have the double damage as well.
And Zai's waiting for it. Like, the Observer Ward's watching him, and there's that first TP out. And with a double damage on S4, yep, it's going to be that tier 3 tower down by a third of its life.
Yeah, and Tombstone was committed as well and not really doing anything there. So very hard for them to take a fight now in their own jungle against Secret here.
Ooh, Arteezy, the blink. The ball's going to drag a long, long way, but they lock Arteezy in. One more second until he can blink again. He's got enough life to survive this, and blinks over to the tree line. Saneko going for this one, actually gets it. They don't have the proper vision, and Arteezy hexed up, so
Can they
still
get
no
him?
blink. They're still trying to finish the job with the Finger of Death. Yes, they do. The 5 heroes committed to kill him, but worth it.
I was actually surprised that they didn't try to do anything there, but Queen of Pain was very low mana and could not really go in and use her ulti and Scream. Else, I think they could have punished there with so many resources being used to bring down the Anti-Mage. But still, though, they're not going to get anything out of the AM kill after getting it.
Yeah, especially when Kurili's Riptide goes. So that creep wave's gone on the top lane. S4 is also going to TP himself back to base and pick up the full Aghanim Scepter for himself.
Yeah, that is very nice.
Can actually, he could kill.
No, there's Song, there's Mech. That's a very high armor Naga Siren. You can't really bring her down that quickly. So the farming game continues, but right now it's looking really terrible for Navi in the sense that AM is pulling ahead, and he's soon gonna get to that stage where he's really hard to deal with. At least they got Roshan, so question is, can they do anything with this? Do they have any chance to push straight mid?
You do when you got a Vorce with an Aegis the Immortal. Because he can still soak up a lot of the burst damage of Secret, or at least force a reaction from them.
Yeah, he can. I mean, that's the upside to having Aegis on Klinks is that he can position himself very well, come in from behind and just force a lot of spells to being thrown at him, and it doesn't matter if he dies. But he still needs his team to go in at the same time as he does. Oh, they can kill Puppy.
Yep. Blink down.
He got his Midas off first. It's fine. Value. Worth.
Still getting a little bit of extra cash.
That's all he wants, dude.
But meanwhile, on top lane, the push continues from Secret. They leave an Observer Ward behind now. Arstyles, Nako, and Dendi are all waiting for
Oh,
this.
they want to take this fight? I think so.
They see it. Secret don't. Now they see Artstyle, and Zai starts the Fiend's Grip straight away. Dendi needs to get the stun off, and now Artstyle just gets the Soul Rip off in time, so he'll be able to survive the Ghost after working with it, and Kuro actually triggering off this Song of the Siren. The Dendi Pulse Nova
Oh
will
my
still
God.
go to work, but they're all out.
A good old Naga Song into TP out. Not a single one getting picked off. He's going to run to the next camp here. Havost, can he just run and predict it? Oh, I don't think he can kill him.
Even with Medallion, TZ will blink away.
Yeah. RTC very quick there as well to just cut down a tree, run between it, and juke into Fog of War.
Triple
making
TP
it-
bot though.
Yeah, making it difficult.
So they're coming down looking for S4, but S4's not sticking around. He's already moving himself away. Still want to say a big props to Navi for their warding game. Those wards have always been giving him the extra advantage before the fights begin.
Definitely. Their vision has been really good, and that's despite the fact that Secret have been running a Naga Siren, who also gives so much vision. When it's played as a core, or played as a support, and played as a vision support in this sense, it's really hard to win the vision game.
I'm wondering how long it will be before Kuro actually gets a gem on himself.
That's a good question.
Then you got the scouting, and all this wonderful vision for Navi will just start to disappear.
Yeah, I think he might pick it up as his
S4
next time.
jumping, going for Dendi with a Shadow Strike. The Tombstone from Arstyle, just trying to force Secret back a little bit further.
Yeah, Tombstone has been playing a huge part in this game. It really has. Like almost every single engagement, we see the Tombstone go down. And I like the fact that he went for Ghost Scepter on Undying early, realizing that Anti-Mage is going to mess with him if he doesn't. And of course the Enchantress, you counter her as well.
The Voss is committing so hard to just keeping up with his farm. He's burned all of his mana. There's nothing left for him.
He's going for a Hex, so he's going to be fine when he has it. He's going to have the Hex for Anti-Mage and Queen of Pain as well. So that way he can actually lock them down and kill them.
As long as he finds the right one.
Yeah, it's a pretty
Animation
popular
gets his
build.
Manta done now.
True. Hopefully he can find him when he's farming jungle so that he can just hex him up and kill him immediately. But yeah, the Anti-Mage Manta timing, 25.
Observer ward up, but he's dead. There's a
That
finger of
attack
death
speed's
to ensure the kill. And Arteezy! Oh! In from the side! Puppey will survive. The Meg charge gets triggered. It was Kuro coming to help him out. And of course, there's no mana. They'll burn the Aegis to the Immortal. Supports on the way here from Navi. Denny around the corner. He'll start with the Edict. They trigger off the dust into an ensnare. They see a Vorst and Arteezy moving over to Dendy trying to remove the mana. They get through a Vorst. They blink in deeper again. The Tombstone trying to soul rip Dendy up again. And in comes just Sonic Wave from S4. They saw one small gap in Navi's armor, and they have just torn it apart. One more Shadow Strike will fly up. That's a double kill for S4.
Dear God, how fast that turned into a disaster. It looked like an easy pickoff at first, trying to go on the poor little Bambi, and then, no, not that easy. She was tanky enough to sustain even through the Finger of Death. And then just the mana void, so much damage.
It hurts so much. It hurts so much. And now Secret will take not only the kills, but they'll take the tier 2 tower. Roshan isn't an option at the moment. And they didn't look like they wanted to go up on high ground. Actually, they're not even going to get the tier 2 tower. They just get fortification from Navi instead.
Play it safe. They realize it's very short death times here, but they do pick up items. They have the Guardian Greaves now on Kuroki, so no mana is going to be spent when he uses his mech. Very nice for him. Instead, given mana.
Even Bane getting a little bit of extra protection with the cloak. More than likely, we're looking at a Glimmer Cape coming up shortly.
Exactly. And the low HP armor is very big against Clinks. If you ever get targeted down by Clinks and you have Guardian Greaves nearby, that could save your life.
So it seemed only moments ago that Arteezy finished the mana style, and he's already up to 1900 gold.
Yeah, that's what happens when you take a good team fight straight after like that. I like the S4 coming in at the rear end of the fight and just going like, yeah, I want the Leshrac kill and the Undying. Those are mine. I did this. Normally it's the typical AM contribution, but here I'm not too sure. I think the AM did most of that.
No, it's the perfect Queen of Pain. It's the Queen of Pain hit and run. You take the kills, you take the glory, you buy yourself something nice.
Yes, go buy something nice. Going into the plate mail, actually. So gonna add up some armor as well. Just trying to deal with the Clinks. I like that. Casual plate mail on Bambi, casual plate mail on Queen of Pain. So they're just trying to prepare for this.
It works. Even though it does restrict the damage of the Enchantress, like, is there even really a problem when S4 as well as Animage are doing the work?
Yeah, not really. He just needed to bait anyway. So he's gonna deal some damage with the Power Trade's Midas regardless. It doesn't need to be insane amount of damage because they have an AM and Queen.
Here coming to Ogre Club's Puppey. Well, Voss is going to find him, but we see the plate mail going a little bit to work.
Yeah, and also just the Untouchable really messes with him.
You're not going to get that chain attack off even with Strafe.
You need a BKB for him to be good against Enchantress. You really need BKB on Klinks, because then the Untouchable doesn't affect you. So that's more what I was thinking when I said that Klinks is good against it.
Arteezy, a very aggressive blink forward. He's got a lot of life to boot. Now he's picked up that Ogre Club of his. Soul going towards the fun anti-major BKB. As the Tombstone will drop, Barstar getting stunned up, and the Centaur, the one from Puppey doing the work as they snowball in on top of Puppey. But Kuro stops the fun. Little Shrek stun might be there, but all of Navi are caught napping. And Kuro will TP away.
Yeah, he's out. Well played by Kuro. That's the third time, I believe, that he actually disjointed a fight just like that in this very game. So always there to stop Navi and their progress. And this game was looking like Navi were so far ahead in kills in the beginning, and now it's 11 for 15, and the farm is definitely in favor of Secret.
That it is. And Arteezy even doing something smarter. He jumped in and creep skipped the bottom lane, and now he's going to creep skip the mid lane as well. So when Kuro comes in and riptides up the mid lane, there's not going to be any kind of pressure to be applied by Navi onto any of the buildings of Secret. They leave the illusions behind, so they don't mop up the whole thing, but they get the TP back from Dendi anyway.
Exactly, forcing the reactions and playing around your opponents. This is what we saw Envy doing a lot as well. That's pretty much the name of the game for AM, running around and distracting the opponents.
There will be a problem for AM, however. He's going to lose his spell shield now that the Silver Edge is done for the Tusker.
Yeah, that is a very big part. Silver Edge is a really good item against Anti-Mage. Also turns off the mana break, which can be nice.
The only downside is if he uses it and then the VKB pops.
Yeah.
Then it shatters the break effect.
Yeah.
Looks like Zai hunting a Vorst straight to the Fiend Strip. And Arteezy, no mana for you. And Klinks, well, he thought he was having an innocent stroll through his own jungle.
Yeah, not so innocent anymore. And Klinks, one of the most important heroes for Navi right now, cannot lose him as he's trying to work and finish his Hex, but he's just too far from it.
Arstal and Dendi, so difficult to slow down Arteezy. They're looking at him, it's like, well, I can Decay and Lightning, and then Arteezy just backs up, continues to farm.
Yeah, they have plenty of farm on their 3 heroes, but it's just that Secret have more farm on their Anti-Mage. He's just too strong right now.
Yeah.
With the full BKB ready, he can farm so aggressively. He doesn't have to fear anything. There are some dangerous things, but it really is only when the entire team goes at the same time that he risks dying.
Yeah. I think they're just waiting for Roshan. S4, oh, he blinks a little bit too far to kill the Sigil, but on bottom lane, Anti-Mage, a quick blink away, but he blinks down into Seneko. And Funnick's right behind him, the Sonic away from S4. Lion didn't stand a chance. Arteezy, there will be the snowball to help protect a couple of Navi for a while, but with his BKB on, he just dies deeper. The mana void's up in 2 seconds time. Both Funnick and Arstal have burned a hell of a lot of it, and Kuro stops the fun. Zion moves forward. He can Nightmare up Dendi or a Vorst. They actually don't see a Vorst. He's invis for the moment. Unless they have the gem, they have the dust anyway, and there's your mana void. But the snowball, again, protection's available, but not for long. Dendi getting beaten apart. Arteezy will take him down. It's a 2-for-1 trade-off, but it's probably not going to stop here. A Vorst running away invis. Arstal limping himself away in.
Yeah, he just has to run away with the Klinks there. Cannot stay, and the tower is definitely going to fall here. Very nice
Can they
use
keep
of
going,
the song.
or do they just stop? Like
I think they stop.
Roshan's up anyway, so they may as well grab it.
Back and pick up items as well. You almost have the Hex or the Shiva finished up on Queen of Pain, as she just needs a little bit more. They could definitely go for the Roshan now, as to have Vladimir's on AM.
They might be a little bit worried, though, that someone might come and grab it.
Yeah. They're probably going to wait until they have the song and play completely safe.
Yep. And a level... okay, it's a level 2 ulti, but Puppey's already 15.5 levels, 32 minutes into this game with an Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah. It's the Midas. Helps him keep up high in levels. He has only been part of 4 kills, and that's including the ones where he was not present with his hero. So, he uses his Midas very well and just keeps staying on level.
Funnick, bottom lane, they go for Arteezy. No Finger of Death, still on cooldown, but the Earth Spike is still available, and they use the Silver Edge to try and break, and then BKB. They jump up. Seneko copping one of those impairs to the face.
Man.
While Funnick glimmer caped away to safety.
That is unfortunate. One of the sad things about the last...
Wait, Havorst?
Oh, they're still
Can
going.
okay, they see him. There's
Okay.
a gem over on Kuro. So Havorst, very, very visible. The snowball protects him, and they're chasing after Kuro Zai. He's
Oh,
got
this
Bean's
is not
Grip
gonna
available,
work.
and Funnick might do that. Havorst, a Sonic Wave from S4. Perfect sniping at the end. Denny getting impetus down by Puppy. It's a 3-for-1 trade-off, and they're running away R-Style north as well as Funnick south. But R-Style's the man to die as well as his Tombstone. The Ghost have to buy him a little bit of extra time, but only a little bit.
I believe that might be it. That's 3 team fights in a row that they have been completely demolished by Team Secret. And when you're losing this many team fights in a row, 2 an anti-mage, snowballing this hard, there's not much to do. They have a Tusk behind the enemy lines. He needs to go and buy a TP scroll here from the sideline. They even spot him out, but they don't care about him.
And almost too easy.
Almost too easy.
TZ just having a fantastic and easy game.
Yeah, he definitely is. There was one point when they almost could kill him. The Lion and Tusk were going in. They needed the Silver Edge punch onto him and the finger afterwards, but there was a miscommunication. He didn't punch him, and then he used the finger for nothing into the spell shield.
The finger was also on cooldown when they started that.
Yeah,
That was another reason.
On bottom the second time, yeah, in the next fight.
You're talking about the one before?
Yeah, the previous one, where they were going in a little bit ham. The big team fight that resulted in disaster. But right now, it's just recovery time for Navi. Like, if they can finish up this item on Klinks, he's been working for so long to get this Hex, and he desperately needs it.
It's too long to take.
Yeah, right now, it's at the point where the Hex item choice was not a good one. If he just went into Crystallis, it would have been better. But that's easy to say now in hindsight.
Yep.
If he did get his Hex at a decent timing, that would have been amazing. But now, you're just lacking physical damage so much. The disable won't even matter that much anymore.
Yep. Well, TC be able to tank through it. He's about to finish up his full butterfly and probably even still have buyback at the end of it all.
Yeah, they are going for Roshan though, and there's no one close enough to stop this. So they can just keep going.
It's a defensive tombstone. They're coming.
Yeah.
But they might just wait on... Okay, Funnick blinks himself up. Nightmared up pretty quickly by Zai. Now Zai's got his own Glimmer Cape and turns into the Fiend's Grip. So Funnick is down for the count. Arteezy moves forward as well. They find Dendy out of possession. Boom! Goes the Bane.
Yeah, like Lesha can't do anything against this.
And Denny back to the Water Luffy. But look at the impetus damage. That did more damage than probably anything else to Denny. And GG is the call. And rightly so. They may have taken Roshan, but it was a bittersweet consolation prize. 21-17. Secret in under 36 minutes take game number 1 of our 2-game series.
Very convincing manner. The early game, Navi were doing good. They found a lot of kills, but they were running around a lot as well. And meanwhile, Arteezy was free farming. They were not contesting his free farm from the very start, and that's a very risky thing.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of anti-mage games on this main stream over the course of the 2 days, and that's the first one where we've seen anti-mage have that much space, and you see the reason why. You don't let him have that much space. See if they change anything. Game number 2, short break, and we'll be back.
Indeed. We do have the first game over, and Secret going forward, taking that win still, even though Navi started the draft phase a little bit, it seems like on an advantage, or at least where they would want to be, not to say advantage over Secret. What did you guys think of that showing from, I mean, either team, but let's talk a little bit about Navi's showing. I mean, after that draft, they weren't able to really pull it through.
Well, they actually had a pretty good early game. They didn't get ahead, I think, on the actual gold, but when you looked at the way the gold was distributed, 2,000 gold is on an Enchantress Midas, which is like 0 game impact at the point in time when you have it. So, and they actually did a pretty good job taking the fights. Now, the problem was the AM just got complete free farm, right? So it's a very stereotypical example of not countering AM and not having good counter picks against him either. If you let him free farm, you need a really good trade. But Klinks didn't free farm. Even if Lesh free farms, it's still situational if he can actually deal with him or not. And, you know, this game was, to a large extent, the Arteezy show, right? It just seemed like he just got to play his, like... This is a pretty easy game for AM when you get that much space. So he shined. I think it was very impressive to see how the other 4 managed to make it into that show, right? So they created a lot of space, right? They didn't lose the early game as hard as they definitely could have, and still held on to key objectives, towers, and another solid game from Secret, even though it looked maybe a little shaky at the start.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned earlier on, maybe going get into the mid game, we did see Navi was taking kills left and right, and they were ganking all their lanes. But at the same time, we look down and Anti-Mage is farming, and he's still top net worth going forward. No sign of stopping right there. And you guys talked about this earlier. You do have to stop it. You have to have a plan if you're going to give that Anti-Mage to stop it, or trade a pick or something like that. Weren't able to do it. We do have a quick highlight from that game. Secret going forward. Now this is near bottom lane. And Secret just pushing forward. And Navi, I mean, not having the answer, they get caught, and we see the Anti-Mage just chasing after one after one.
I think one of the key moments was actually one before this. I'm not sure if we have that on replay or not, but yeah, well, let's let this one play out first. This is a really good song, by the way, from Kuroki, identifying that they are ahead in the fight and that they can get in a really good position here and get a couple extra kills. And I do think that was the last kill of this fight. I believe they both get away here. Yeah. So so the fight before this, that I don't know if we have it on tape, but basically what happens is this is like an absolute classic puppy play, baiting with Enchantress. And I don't know if it was intended to be a bait as such, but he gets caught in the dire jungle by, I think it is Soneko's Lion. All right, we've got it. Perfect.
Yeah.
So here we go. So this play right here is huge because this is when the game is still pretty even, right? Arteezy is ahead, but not by an insurmountable lead. He comes in at the perfect time. I believe Puppy at this point has his plate mail, and that's why he lives. So they bought, as Waga pointed out, casual plate mails on both Puppy and I think it was S4 on the Quap. Both bought plate mails to be able to deal with this Clinks, and Arteezy is just in the right place at the right time, jumps in for the assist. They end up getting, in what should have been just an easy pickoff for Navi, ends up being a 0-5 fight. They all, or 0-4, I think. The Tusk might have survived. I don't think he bought back there. So this right here this is the stuff that wins games simply. And
Yeah,
I can't remember how many times I've seen Puppy with Enchantress always surviving with like no health and setting up for his team. It seems like every time he has Enchantress in the game, there's that one moment where a team thinks they can kill it and just can't and lose something big.
Right on. Winter, what are your thoughts from this game? I mean, especially some of the picks, we were thinking a little bit of a curveball, especially coming from Secret, but nothing too crazy. Going forward, Secret just continues. Do you think, who's going to challenge? I mean, is anyone going to be able to challenge their comfort zone, or this is just who they are?
I think going back to the lanes, because we were talking about Anti-Mage getting too much space, and they got a very early kill on Arteezy in the lanes. Then after that, the Undying sort of left the Tusk alone, and the Tusk sort of started roaming. He got a kill on the Ench in the jungle, but I'm not sure was it worth it or not. Maybe it might have been better for both of the heroes to actually sit in the lane to make sure that the Anti-Mage has trouble farming, even though they killed him once, but they need to continuously shut him down. Instead of, okay, we did some damage, it's time to help the other lanes, so I'm not sure if that was worth it in the end of the day.
I mean, if you go down that route, though, it's hard to find a point where you stop, right? Because like you have to constantly shut him down, whether it's single-handedly by ganking him, the anti-mage, or by doing that and then ruining all three lanes and just eventually ending the game before he has a chance.
They have to do what Fnatic did to, I think it was Envy, when he was anti-mage and he couldn't farm in the other lanes, and his team just had, I'm not sure if it was Fnatic, but the game that he was on AM, his supports had to ditch him because there's no way they could help him farm in the lane. So they had to help the other lanes. It's probably better to force them into the position where the anti-mage can't farm and the supports will be helping the other lanes, and he has to recover later on towards the game instead of after one kill then he's just left alone to farm.
I mean, at the same time though, they had to help out mid lane too. Puppy tried to gank the Leshrac. They turned that gank around, but Queen of Pain versus Leshrac is a matchup that when it's already drafted in the first two heroes, you don't expect it to be a one-on-one. You expect the Enchantress to go there, and the supports from Navi realized that. They didn't want Leshrac to be underfarmed, so they devoted more resources there. So you either sacrifice a Lesh or you give AM farm. I don't think they can do both.
And I think they don't really have the supports that excel well at that. Undying is a support where you want to sit in a lane statically. You want to keep owning the lane, and you want to keep pressuring, and eventually, at some point, possibly take the tower, if possible. So when you force the Undying to move around, like, I don't think it's ideal for him already.
And if you look at it as a one-on-one trade-off, if your choice is we can sack our Lesh a little bit to sack their anti-mage, or we can let both farm, you would generally prefer to sack, right? Because the farm trade-off actually favors AM because he counters Lesh innately, right? So that I would definitely agree with Winner there. The game plan there is they have to counter the aim a bit more than they did, or maybe a lot more than they did. Actually.
Well, yeah, of course. Once you start, you have to commit to that fully. Now, let's talk a little bit about the draft then, Winter. Earlier, we did see them banning out the gyro instead, and that left a lot of options open, including the Lesh. Do you think at this point, just try to go something more standard, of course, depending on the pick order, just ban out Lesh, don't count on either team getting it, and then see what each team has got, in case of Navi, rather?
I think they can actually do the same thing, like just leave stuff open and take a trade. It's more of their execution and game plan that I think that has to be more refined in the next game. Because I feel they made a couple of really bad mistakes in the game that they started out well. Like, don't get me wrong, the lanes and stuff,
Right.
but it's just that after that, what they do with the lead is what is most important, how they control the AM and stuff.
And that's been the case for a lot of our games, is that the draft, if we compare numbers and relativity, the numbers of games that were determined more by the draft are not that much, actually, compared to the numbers where the draft seemed even on both sides. It really depended on which team came out on top. Do you think that really says a lot about the meta right now, or more so about the teams that we have at TI5, or a combination of both?
I mean, it's a combination of both. I mean, each team has their own play style, but if you can't execute your draft, it really doesn't matter what you have. Like, I mean, you're just going to lose no matter what, especially at this caliber of play. So generally, just teams pick whatever they're best with, and teams that try and adapt too much. I think adapting is important, but adapting too much is going to shoot you in the foot.
So that's fair enough. So going into game 2, Navi, then what are they looking to fix? I mean, obviously execution from that last draft, but that's in that situation, right, where we were talking specifically about that draft itself. Do you think overall there's something that Navi was lacking that affected that execution?
I think priorities is what is important. They need to know what are the more important objectives, what they need to shut down, and what they need to give more attention to from the support. So I think that is one point that they need to reconsider heavily in the next game.
What about you, Sin? What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. I actually think this was a really good draft for them. Maybe if you want to question one thing, maybe the Clink's last pick matchup against Bane, which I do think they should have expected with the draft, the way it was opened and the way it was set up. I was pretty confident that it was a Psy Bane, because else they would have to offlane the AM, the Naga, or the Quap. They could have technically offlaned Quap, but they don't really do that. So I don't know if that's what they were thinking. They picked Clinks because it's a decent matchup against Quap. I don't even know if it is. Maybe it's okay.
It's probably because of the timing windows of the carries, because Klinks, you come online faster than an anti-mage, so you were going to be able to control the map better and look for because AM is going to be farming when he just gets Battle Free. Before he gets Blats, he's always going to be maybe half HP or so, and as Klinks, you run in maybe with a Medallion or even a Solar Crest, you might have a very good chance of catching the AM and killing him multiple times during the process. That might be one of the top process that they had in mind.
It works a lot better, though, if he's under farm, so then that window's a lot bigger.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
That's why everyone is so scared of Undying plus Tusk, just because it dominates your safe lane. And then you lose your jungle, and then you lose your tower, and then everything goes downhill from there. But they never really got past that first step. They just killed AM once, and that's simply not
They
enough.
didn't really stick to the plan, though. I feel like they just left the plan right after they got one kill. That's
For
how I
Navi.
felt. Yeah.
And if that's the kind of role they imagined their Clinks to play, then this is not the hero you drafted against in lane. Again, like the Bane. If the Clinks is supposed to get strong and be able to overtake AM because he comes online faster, he needs lane support, or he needs a lane that he wins on his own. But they had to quickly help him out. Also, if they don't move any supports to the top lane, Puppy as an Enchantress is always a wild card. He could just come in with Dust, and they can kill him with a Nightmare into any sort of creep, and they just kill the Clinks a couple times, right? So it's a difficult situation for them. I definitely agree, though. More pressure on the safe lane carry, and I don't know, though. Like, what carry wins 1-on-1 against Bane in lane? It's like an absolutely incredible lane dominator. So maybe Clinks was actually an okay pick.
Right. And again, we were talking a lot about the execution, so things could have gone differently, but if anything, you were saying if we were to question anything from Navi's draft, maybe the Clinks. So in that case, credit due to Navi, but we are looking at the draft of Game 2, of course, swapped between the two teams, so Navi will be on Radiant, and this time they're just going to say, all right, well, we don't want to deal with the Lesh, even if a lot of teams have shown methods to do so. Just take that out. And then still
So
prioritizing the Gyro as a ban.
They are taking out the Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend once more when they're on the Dire. Just the exact same ban from Secret.
No, they banned.
I mean, it wasn't this game. It wasn't this series.
Oh,
it was
okay.
the series before
Yeah.
against Cloud9.
Mm-hmm.
Noteworthy heroes available: Tusk, Naga, I think they first pick Naga. Actually.
Wyvern.
Wyvern, yeah?
Yeah, Wyvern
That's
is
true.
open.
Yeah, if Navi don't snag the Wyvern here, they probably won't get it later.
But I think Wyvern's a lot stronger on Dire side though, because of the
yeah,
rotation
because
in
of
the
the
mid.
position of the like the mid lane, how you can gank.
But at the same time, last game I don't really feel like it mattered that much because they had the Queen of Pain. But for pretty much any other mid, it's going to make a bigger difference.
Lash or Shadow Fiend.
Well, Secret juggling between a couple of those high priorities. Now, another contention, of course, earlier we've been talking about it. I mean, Dazzle, will he get through the first phase of picks? Last game rather, it didn't, and then Dazzle got banned in the second phase. But Tusk's gonna be the pickup for Secret. No big surprise there.
We somewhat expected Naga. I think Naga's really strong for Secret just because they're really good at taking fights on their own terms. And Naga is just like a, no, we don't want to fight now. We'll see you in a couple of minutes. And that's really important for a team like Secret who, really looks for those little advantages and timing windows.
I think they're actually just challenging Navi on their hero pool.
But
They
it's-
don't play Naga.
Yeah, but it's also going back to the point
they?
where we mentioned yesterday where you don't want to play the exact same style, like exact same opening 2 games in a row.
Right.
So
That's true. And of course, with the Wyvern being open, Navi's just gonna snag that up. Winter, like you said, they don't want a chance that being banned out in the second phase. And what else is Navi looking for here? With the Wyvern already picked?
I feel like there's one key hero we're missing, like top tier pick.
I mean, Undying I think is a top tier pick for Navi, but I'm not sure if they're going to pick it right here. Bounty Hunter?
Bounty Hunter.
Bounty Hunter did, yeah, Bounty Hunter was in the bans last game. So it is available. Of course, a number of other heroes that we've seen consistently throughout this weekend, even picked early. Dazzle and Wisp, Dazzle we mentioned earlier.
Wisp I don't think won't see.
Right.
It won't see play from Navi. I mean,
Right, on the
Secret
side of
might pick
Navi.
it, though.
Wondering if Secret will pick it up or even ban it from either side. Maybe from Navi in the next phase.
Why won't Navi pick it?
It doesn't seem, I don't know. It's not something that they turn to a lot recently.
I guess does Art Style even play Wisp? I think it's Soneko when they have it.
maybe
And Soneko needs to
maybe Earthshaker is more flexible here since you can. Okay.
Oh. Well, I mean, you feel free to finish your thought.
Yeah, I was thinking like because they are having trouble with figuring out what to put here because you need to have a flexible pick. You need a pick that doesn't reveal too much and again flexible. So Earthshaker can be played as off lane like they have done that in the past. So and it can go to the support position. So I feel that that's like one of the few remaining comfortable flexible picks left in the pool there for them.
And then the Naga does get
solves
locked.
the Tusk as well, as we've talked about a couple of times. Fissure, counter
Right.
engaging, Snowball is very good.
All right. Well, not too many cores revealed as.
Probably gonna ban the
Alright.
Darkseer here since most of the teams have been banning Darkseer when there's a Wyvern pick on
Mhm.
the opposing team.
Mhm.
Yeah, we have seen that.
Yeah, they don't have first pick coming out in the next phase.
So if you're Navi now, you're setting up for a range carry, right? There's very low chance you play this with melee core, unless if it's an offlane shaker. Else I don't think they have playing melee cores against Tusk Naga is pretty risky. You easily get controlled by Ensnare. Tusk, of course, can keep you at distance. Ice shards are super annoying if you're a melee core.
I mean, it depends. Like someone like Anti or
Maybe
like
a mobile.
Phantom Lancer is not that much out of the question. It just depends on what it is.
Yeah, there's been a lot of games where we see Lancer paired with Wyvern as well a lot. Because Wyvern.
Lancer I would have used. Go ahead. You were.
Yeah.
I've seen it paired with Wyvern because
Yeah, because like Wyvern can babysit the Lancer, and the other reason is because most of the time you are trying to split farm and get as much as possible around the map, and with the splinter bars, Wyvern's usually be able to buy a lot of space and time for the Lancer to actually come online. So they both have a lot of synergy in between each other.
And then the Bane getting a ban this game. You guys were talking about how that has been slipping through a little bit, but definitely has good reason to be in the meta right now.
Why could Navi been out clean?
Arteezy's played it once. That was the game that got 33'd in.
Yeah, and they
Oh, so
tend-
that's why.
they tend to prioritize the clings on the Dire side as well because of how they can snowball, like get a kill, get a tower, or get a Roche fairly easily with the way they are playing the cling. So probably that's one of the few reasons as well.
Does seem like a pretty specific ban though for only the second phase, especially when
I mean, they
still
have
had the
Wyvern
first
though.
pick.
Usually you're not afraid of Clings when you have
Yeah.
co-embrace. So
Yeah, that band is very strange to me.
it's and
Well-
Clings doesn't directly counter any other hero. So
Mhm.
I think he's good in the sense that you can like take control of the opponent's jungle very well. If you're off to a free start, I mean, as far as other reasons, yeah, I don't think he's like a direct counter to any hero, especially when there's a Wyvern.
Yeah.
So I guess it's mostly just a counter, a ban based on you don't want the momentum of the game to go into this type of snowball, then Roshan, then tower type of pace for the opponent.
All right.
Pretty solid Razor pick, I think.
Yeah, good lanes as well. Like you mentioned, with Earthshaker, you want to have a range hero in the lane if you want to play Shaker as a support. So Razor is very independent as a carry. It doesn't need too much of help. Can pressure the off lane alone, and he comes online pretty fast. So it synergizes well with the other two heroes. You want to group and take towers.
So Secret, what else do you think they're going to be looking for here? I mean, of course, with Tusk and Naga, that's no surprises there for their picks.
I mean, I think versus Razor, your carry pick is way more limited, especially if you expect them to possibly dual lane off lane, which I think is a very high possibility coming out from Navi. Gyro is a very good choice. It's banned out, but for the reasons that he's really good versus Razor, he has like a close range nuke, so he can't static link, and he's a range hero. And I'm trying to think of other ones that match up well versus Razor. But all in all, I mean, it takes out like a fair amount of heroes. Like PA just does it terribly versus Razor.
Yeah, and the Dazzle did slip through, so...
Might be a carry Naga though this game, even though I haven't seen a long time. from
Right, yeah, I
Secret.
was going to ask. I mean, we talked about it earlier, how we haven't seen that from Secret too much, but could it be a possibility? And Dazzle being locked in,
think-
that option still is open.
PL might actually be pretty likely for Secret.
Okay, ooh, Storm coming out for Navi.
They might need lockdown for this game.
Yeah.
I've seen Tusk do pretty well. If Tusk is a little
Ahead,
overfarmed,
I guess.
Yeah. If Tusk gets a good start, then I think he actually handles Storm very well. You can like waste his Vortex and a lot of mana by snowballing on him. He has like
Right.
a pretty long and high damage chain disable, I would say.
That's like if as well. Like you
Yeah,
need to
it's-
have multiple ways of dealing with the storm, just in case the Tusk. Like you can't just rely on the Tusk alone because Storm is very mobile.
Yeah.
And
They ran out of... Oh, never mind. I'm seeing things.
All right.
I thought that was a last second pick, but it's
Oh,
50
yeah.
reserve. Yeah.
Well, Anti-Mage coming out again for RTZ. So the Naga...
They have to pressure him this time around. They can't just let him farm like the last game. So maybe they can actually do some pressure lane with Razor. Could be a possibility. Razor plus a support on the off lane to pressure the AM if they really want to hamper his early game.
Okay, now for Navi, where are we seeing the shape going, and what are we looking for to round out that lineup? I mean, as you guys are saying,
I mean, if they do offlane Shaker, like
I think it's too weak this
Yeah,
game.
it's-
With the
it's-
AM, it's too weak.
it's very weak. Like AM's just gonna free farm. And Earthshaker will get his levels, but Earthshaker doesn't really like counter anti-mage in the late game. And of course, they have like Song of the Siren in case they want to try and chain stun him. So I think that's just like far too risky of a venture. I think it's much safer to do Razor plus.
Shaker,
Yeah, Razor
I'd say.
plus Shaker or Razor plus Wyvern and pressure him with a Razor in the lane in particular.
Okay, and
Yeah, like Secret is already banning out the Undying once more. Worried that might actually happen, like Undying with Razor or they can do some aggressive lane against the AM.
What other aggressive heroes are there though? We've seen Axe used, but that was earlier in the day.
yeah, that was by Secret.
Don't
against
really have
Cloud9.
a preparing for it.
Yeah, with Axe you want to have instant like burst. Their lineup doesn't have instant burst. They have like sustained damage over a long period of time. So Axe might not be like good with their lineup.
What else? Is there anything we've missed that we've?
There's still
seeing
Darkseer though, right?
Darkseer is still open. Yeah, you mentioned that from the very beginning.
I feel like Dark Zero will get controlled very easily though by the supports.
Yeah, but he's
Can
very
do
good. Like
Durser
he's very good
duo
in the
trial.
lane, maybe.
Oh,
That is
Phoenix.
something new. So they have the combination of Phoenix and Wyvern together in team fights is very powerful.
Mhm.
You dive in, you drop your egg, and the enemy team obviously has two choices, either to run or to focus the egg. When they focus the egg, that sets up for the Wyvern to drop her ultimate onto the fight, and they have both very good synergy in between the two ultimates. So it's
At the
very strong team fight.
At the same time though, we've seen Nagasar counter, just straight up counter Phoenix. Like you just sleep
Yeah.
and kill the egg. So it is good, but again, the Nagasar is a trump card for a lot of team fight abilities.
Yeah.
But
then-
Navi have 2 legendary Pokemon. They have Articuno and Moltres. How can you beat it?
Secret. Go Puck as their last pick. Don't know if that's good enough, but that's what it's going to be. Navi with the legendary lineup coming in game 2. Now, we talked about Navi, how much they need these points. Of course, the 2-0 is not there anymore, but even that 1 point, I mean, at this point, right, if you couldn't get the 3 points, that 1 point really matters in some ways even more than the 3 points. So they definitely want this win. Secret, though, it's going to be a pretty tall wall to climb. How do you guys feel about this draft after having it all wrapped up?
Again, we think it's more of a playstyle thing. They have
Yeah.
the pressure to anti-beach.
Okay.
Yeah.
On their back, they need
Now-
to do well and finish the game at a certain amount of time.
I'm not sure if their lineup this time around is actually better suited for it though. But now they
I
have,
was-
they
yeah,
have
I
to do
was-
it. I
Yeah,
actually,
they
I think
have to
last
do
game
that.
they had a better draft for accomplishing that.
Okay.
We'll
But
see.
either way, they
try
have
for
to.
it.
At this point, they've cornered themselves into that point when anti-mage being given up to Arteezy. So it's going to be game 2 between Team Secret and Navi.
100% wrong.
I
Puck is
stand by my words.
Puck is amazing. And so are you guys. For joining us here on the live stream, Navi versus Secret. It is the second game in our third series of the day where Team Secret are looking to get back-to-back major victories. They already achieved one over on Cloud9, and now they're looking to do one over on Navi.
Yeah, we're going to see who can pull out on top here as Team Secret going with their Anti-Mage once again, and Navi running the Lightning Boys, standing here on the high ground together.
They're waiting for anyone that will contest their might.
Yeah.
And it's not going to happen. Secret have no desire to get involved in this. Zai is making a bit of a movement down on the bot lane, and you see him preparing himself for a lot of damage. Mango, Tango, as well as South.
Mango, Tango, you name it, he got it.
That's
He's stacked.
what he's looking for. Kuro is also hiding inside the pit. Also notice the fact that Kuro doesn't even wait to level up. He goes directly for the Riptide, not looking for Ensnare. He's and that's probably just even more confidence in Zai to get
Look
the
at
snowball.
Phoenix. Look at Phoenix. He's going to dive.
Is he?
He's going to do it. He has the dive already. He wants to steal this.
Yeah, but Secret
Here we
can
go.
see him, and Zai's going
Here
to
we
move
go.
forward. If he dives, there's your dive down.
Oh, so close.
Nah, Puck got it. And
They
Zai...
get stuck here.
Oh, he
He's
shards him!
stuck.
He actually shards him into the
Eat.
tree line. He's trying to cut himself free.
Eat.
It's a contained bird. He doesn't want to be here. Now S4's going to orb up. He jaunts himself through with a Riptide that removed the armor. And
Oh,
Funny
God, he's so
still
slow.
on the run. And Secret, well, the salve.
He's got to
Kuro.
cancel it.
Well, he can cancel it, but look what you've just burned through. He actually... Like, he's only got 4 tangos
Eat.
left, and the shards again locks him in. Kuro's got another Riptide. They're
Oh,
actually going to kill
Funny.
Funnick on the bottom lane. First blood to Secret.
Dear God, he ate 5 tangos to try and get away, and he dies.
It really looked like a bird that had his wings clipped. The second the first shards came up, it was just like panic. Panic, there's glass walls all around me.
But
Why
like
can't
a
I find
phoenix,
open
he has
air?
risen again, Toby. He's back.
Well, yeah, this might be his nephew.
Yeah.
Because that phoenix is not coming back.
Okay, okay. Well, unfortunate. So,
Oh, my.
pretty interesting to see the offlane that they're running here. Aggressive tri-lane with the Razor, but there's just the AM there. So Secret are looking to win the other 2 lanes.
Arteezy.
Did he use the salve and get
He was
cancelled?
TPing
No.
down to the bottom lane.
Oh,
they
even
wanted to
bigger.
switch their lanes up, and they just canceled his TP scroll.
Heads up play by Artstyle, and he's also cancelling the pull here. Look at him just moving in and stopping the neutrals. Very heads up, so like what Artstyle is doing here. And this is going to keep the AM stuck here for quite a bit.
Yeah, that it will.
Or he has to run all the way down, but that's not very fun.
I don't think Kuro wants to come up here either. Like, he was about to make his way up and then realized that both Snako and Arsenal hadn't moved back into the lane, so he didn't want a bar of it. So this bottom lane is now Puppy and Zai combining together, and there's a Poison Touch first level from Puppy.
Interesting. Like, a lot of Dazzles have completely skipped the Poison Touch, but yeah. I guess
He's wanting to burn the, that's at least my assumption here, he's wanting to burn up the consumables here of Funny.
they want to dive and kill Funny here. I think that's too much, though. It's a little bit too hard as the ice shards block the entrance, actually.
And he'd have to consume the mango to get the snowball up.
Yeah, you don't want to use the mango this early. You want to hold on to that.
But both runes get to go the way of Team Secret. So the bounty taken out by Kuro, who's going to slip himself back. Arteezy still having a horrible time. He's 1-1 on the CS. There was a very specific reason why they were TPing him out of the lane.
Yeah, this is not a fun lane. You can't go up against a Razor as anti-mage, especially when he has support as well.
Yep. Art Style waiting in the corner. He's hoping
pull.
for the perfect fissure time when the Plasma Field or at least a Static Link can do its work.
Yeah. We see Artstyle just running in and trying to get something out of this pull. At least he's going to share the experience, but no last it's taken.
Coming after Dandy. And actually using his illusions to heal bomb. They force the rotation out from Seneko, and because of that now Artstyle caught out in the top, goes for the fissure, and Arteezy, one more swipe is all he needs. Kuro's going to get hit, and now, well, again running. There's more support coming up from Puppey, and Arteezy, he's got blink off cooldown, one attack, two attacks, cannot reach the Centaur in time. And Arteezy, even though he's got 1 CS, his kill count matches it.
As many kills as Hero, or as Creeps farmed. Very nice. Well, that's really good for him. A good recovery mechanic for AM here that Puppey was here, able to find the kill for him. And of course, the help of Kuroki.
Havorce, though, still is light years ahead. You've got 17-7 over on the Razor. And Dendi in mid's having such a great time as well. He's walking around with 18-6. The only lane which isn't going well for Navi is the bot lane. And that's where Funnick, obviously he died the first time. He's almost level 4, but he's only got 4 CS.
I feel bad for Funnick. He had 8 tangles going to that lane, and he just purchased 4 more tangles. So that's so much gold going into consumables that his Tranquil Boots are far away. And I can't help but feel if he didn't die first blood there, that lane would have been so good for Navi. Like, he could have leech experience at least, and probably stayed alive.
Puppey's going to finally get his 4-minute camp to spawn on the top, so the pull option is open again for Team Secret. A little bit more of a secret ward as well, so a lot more difficult to counter out for Navi.
Yep.
Dendy's dropping low, S4. He doesn't have mana for the combo just yet. In like 2 mana he would, and in fact he's just going to trigger the orb to run down for the haste rune on bottom. So action rune for S4, always a danger.
Curious to see that 56 games on Storm is the most of all players on that hero. Like, that's not very many. There are some heroes that have been played more than 100 games and so on in competitive Dota. That's curious, but 2-1 in this patch. Very good hero, I feel, still. Storm works really well. The aggression that you can put with him.
I know Blitz would agree. Snowball, bottom lane is Tusker. I don't know if he's really thinking he can do this, Zai, but he's got Funnick and Arstar right behind. The Fissure is still available. Just try and dodge it around, but the Sigil is really making it impossible to chase him down.
Yeah, they did have the dive and as well as more Fire Spirits available, but decided not to go for it. He's simply too hard.
He's even going to do more damage to Funnick. Gets an Ice Shard while his creep wave was coming in.
Yeah, and all those new tangos are gone again. God, this is a hungry bird. So haste rune on S4. I'm looking at him right now and trying to see when he will get his level 6.
You might want to look at Seneko instead. Puppey with the poison touch. He's going to put himself under, and Arteezy actually makes a path to freedom through the tree line.
Yeah. Path to freedom. Can't really go aggressive against the Razor up there. It's just a little bit of a poke.
It's just a nice path in the future. He's got the Quelling Blade, so it doesn't take him anything to cut this.
Should always try and do that if your anti-mage can be very nice for you. Phoenix on bottom used his dive now, so maybe they will go aggressive on him.
But Arstar's still here. He's babysitting. The snowball's going to come in. Arstar looking for the fissure, and it's going to be funny to get the kill over on the Tusker. And Kuro, he's trapped. No more stuns. The cold embrace.
Nice TP
can't
out.
use that in an enemy, and he has no stuns.
Yes, that's very good there, Joey. That's why we have you here.
And then mechanic.
So that means full Tranquil Boots now for the Phoenix. So nice recovery after having a really tough time. That was a lot of baiting going on bottom lane until finally. I can't believe he went for a snowball. He had 170 HP and then he snowballed in on the Phoenix. And you knew that the Shaker was going to be around there.
It was confidence is what it is from Zai.
Yeah.
Now if he can just leech out a little bit of his experience from mid, he'd actually have his Walrus Punch. Just one creep to die. That's all that needs to die, and then he can ball himself in, but he's very visible. The Observe Ward, which is up on the hill, sees this coming, and the Dream Call actually stopping D from getting the instant jump away, but the Walrus Punch did not come.
They were trying something very, very difficult there, but they almost made it. That was really cool. Snowball in and then cancel the animation of the Ball Lightning with the ulti from S4, but they couldn't get the Tusker Punch. If they got that, they would probably have killed him.
I actually thought they were also looking to pick up the puck on the way through, but Zai, to get the timing right at the same time, you also want to cancel the animation with the Dream Coil. The timing for it would have had to been absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it's a very hard kill to kill the Storm like that. That's why I was surprised that they actually went for it, but would have been a cool move.
I suppose the silence really isn't that big just yet.
Yeah,
Because that was what I was thinking about too. Like, you have like a level 1 silence, but that's only 0.75 of a second.
Yeah, exactly. Now, with the Tuskar Punch and the Ice Shards, the damage would probably have been enough with the Illusory Orb and the Waning Rift, but just barely.
Now it's Alstar to help out. Fisher trying to go onto S4 in the mid, and then Denny can just ball lightning up. And they've already managed to bait out the phase shift, so does Denny doesn't have any vision of art style at all. I mean, S4 doesn't have any vision of art style.
Yeah, S4 can't see him. The Fisher's gonna fly.
Oh,
Misses.
what a dodge.
Yeah, nice
He's still
timing.
got not enough mana. He can't get into the tower.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate. If that stun landed, I mean, easy to see how he would have been very dead there. S4 gets a tango from Kuroki. What a buddy. And Rune is also spawning, so see S4 checking bottom, Storm checking top. Actually, Artstyle checking top. Holding it.
Gotta make sure Denny gets those charges.
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. Remember that farm on the Anti-Mage that was crippled at the start? He's now 28 for 3. He's still nowhere near Havost, but
He doesn't need to be.
He's getting up further.
Yeah, he doesn't need to be near Havost as well at this stage. Like, this is fine for an anti-mage. It's not great, but he is getting levels and farm to some extent. They have the pull now, which is definitely helping. But the first few minutes of the game was, of course, horrendous for him.
S4's finally getting a little bit of stack farm too, so he's going to flash farm a little bit of levels.
Yep. You definitely need to recover with Puck, because he doesn't farm that fast on lane. So maxing out the Illusory Orb quite a bit and just farming like this is really nice.
And running a Naga Siren in the mid, you're not too concerned about that. He could farm up with his illusions if he needs to. And if Denny does jump him, it's under the tower. You might kill a Naga, but Naga also a very tanky hero to try and kill.
Yeah, I also believe he might need to have full mana on Dendy to go for that kill, or at least the Fisher available. There's 4 heroes sitting around mid. They really want to take a fight with the egg now from Phoenix, but they don't have the best heroes to pressure tower.
4
In
heroes
fact,
up against just Kuru, like...
Yeah, it feels like they're letting the AM, Free Farm, and Dazzle pull. As we saw earlier, Puppy has one of the highest jungling stats out of the supports here at TI. He does love to kill jungle creeps.
He's probably spent more time in the trees than anyone in the world.
Out of the support players, he's farming a lot from neutrals.
He played jungler after jungler after jungler for a very long time.
Yeah, he knows his jungle.
He knows his economy. That's what he knows.
Yeah.
How can you get the most amount of money in the game of Dota without having to sacrifice anything?
Yeah, and at the same time, we also see the mana boots available now on Kuroki, so he's going for multiple stacks at the same time right now. Let's see if he can make it.
Oh, not when S4 starts
S4
farming one up. Then again, he took it all out. The Naga illusion, he's picking, it's like, please move, move, move.
Yeah, but they're still actually managing to get spawn on 3 of these camps at the same time, so very nice. Very nice efficiency there.
Well, we said it. How do you get the most out of the map? That's the way to do it.
Yeah, it's that German efficiency. I like it, Kuro.
And then he gets to use his Riptide while S4 farms with Orb. And he's hitting basically everything. He's using 2 camps when he uses that Orb.
Yeah.
Snako, no, it's just a double damage rune against Zai, but it's more of a zone out of the lane kind of style.
It is. Whenever you run into jungle and start farming the Mud Golems with a spell, I feel like, oh, they're so annoying. But you have to remember, they used to be in bottom lane.
Snowball down with the Walrus Punch, and Arteezy right behind in the mana void though. It's not enough damage. 22 life. He's still only actually dropped to 21 at one point. The Splinter Blast will come in, and Zai was shards in 1 second time. Snake put himself under, but Tuskar realized he had enough. Arteezy still taking too much damage from the tower. Blinks up and dodges the last one, triggering the salve as early as he could.
Oh my god, I'm just looking at the stacking going on right now. Oh, he did it.
They're snowballing bottom. They're going after R-Style, picking up Arteezy on the way through. R-Style, he will be dropping underneath this tower. No mana to speak of.
These tower dives and kills are impressive to me, but at the same time, Kuroki was stacking Ancients, Big Camp, and Medium Camp. So he's just all over the place with his Naga Siren and stacking. So the jungle is fully saturated and prepared for Team Secret to go in and farm to. And they're just going to take that again, I think, with S4 and get close to that Blink Dagger. It's really nice to watch.
That's stage 1. Stage 2 is Battle Fury on the Anti-Mage.
Yeah, then he gets to farm. Kuroki, what a selfless guy. He's just doing it again. Look at the illusions. They're going to spread out, prepare.
Yep.
Then he's going to stack all the camps at once.
They last so long as well, so you can actually prepare them.
He's trying to stack.
Actually,
he's trying to stack 4 camps at once.
The hilarious thing is, look at the timer on them. So they time out in 10 seconds time, which is 1 second after everything should spawn.
Yep.
So it's terrific to watch.
Yeah.
And you got Puppy doing the other stack. So
Yep.
1, 2. He didn't get it on one of the camps.
Failed the big camp.
But 3 out of 4 ain't bad.
Yeah. We give him 6 out of 10. So top lane, we see Phoenix still farming on the lane, trying to get. Oh, are they actually going? They're just going and checking the lane. They're taking the bottom tower really quickly here with RTC and Zai.
They're forcing the issue. Like
Yeah.
that's when you look to the last band of Navi where they took out the Undying. And Secret would be so much more scared to do what they're doing right now if that Undying was up. But really, how does Navi punish Secret? You throw a fissure, you don't have... Actually, now you have Winter's Curse.
It has to be through the storm. That's how you do it.
Top lane, Funnick jumping in on Puppy. He's still got Shallow Grave and Arteezy. Blink now comes off cooldown. They go into the Nova. Arteezy just got to get himself away from this one. Puppy will take a stun. He's got a Shallow Grave himself to stay alive, while Zai keeping his distance. He could snowball in or at least shard and
All
keep Funnick
5
out.
are here.
Funnick! Oh, he went in. The snowball's going to chase him down, but he doesn't want to. Dendy was there as well. The Sigil making his way, but S4, Dream Calls available. Zai falling back, but Dendy jumps in. Song of the Siren from Kuro, stopping everything so Zai can back up. He's still burning at the moment.
Is he gonna dive?
No.
Indeed, they're TPing out. He's not gonna do it.
All right.
If he had a little bit more vision, he might have, but then you have to respect the anti-mage being closer by as well.
Cut your losses. Let S4 have some fun on bottom lane.
That
He's
was
now got his
impressive.
Blink Dagger.
Because all of Secret were there for that team fight, and there was only 3 from Navi. They get a kill, and they get out, and they didn't get punished. That was impressive.
That's very, very true.
They get a thing.
Now, they got that. Well done, Wonga.
Yeah.
You've now just annoyed every caster watching this game right now.
It's just the casters, man.
Not the players. Well, the stacks are going to begin again. Arteezy starting his farm on a couple of them. He's already got the Perseverance up and running,
Yeah.
but it'll take him a lot longer to get the rest of this farm. In fact, he's
He's
now
high ground farming.
he's cliff jungling.
Yeah. This is a fun little thing you can do. You gotta cut down the trees in order to do it, but when you have Quelling Blade, you can easily do this.
Yeah, just blink up and do it. And he doesn't have to take any damage.
Yep. Sufficient. I don't think that there are many other spots where you can actually do this trick, though.
They're about to try and jump on
I think
Dendy.
there's one more.
There's a lot of support coming in. Denny, in fact, now jumps on Tuskar. Zai punching him up, but S4 with a Blink Dagger gets the silence into the ensnare. Denny was not ready for that Blink Dagger on Puck.
Yeah, Puck has been farming so much jungle that they didn't know if he has Blink Dagger or not. Very hard
Poppy
to tell.
and Arteezy. It's Funnick versus the world right now. Arteezy does have
He's
the mana
burning
void,
the
but
world.
there's not enough mana burnt off Funnick to get the kill just yet, and he'll actually blink himself away.
Yeah.
But he does get the kill over on Dazzle.
So Funnick 1v2 manages to get a kill, and the tower is now exposed, and he still has his ulti available. Navi is playing really good in this game. Like, sure, they died with Dendy there on the mid lane, but I think they're doing much better than the previous game. Because look at the farm. They have a strong Razor, and there's a great hero for pressuring high ground. This is more of a game than last one.
It's a lot closer. As far as the gold goes, it's not even like you haven't seen much more than 1,000 gold experience going either way.
Yeah.
And the experience was up to Navi at about 1,500, but like it's nothing to write home about in the first 15 minutes. Everything is still very, very close. The Secret is starting to get some items online. Arteezy is now roughly 1,500 away from having his Battle Fury.
Yeah.
You've got well, nothing on the Naga, but you got the Blink Dagger already over on S4, and he's moving into his next item. The mech's up on Zai, and Puppy, well, he's the sacrificial lamb in this game.
Yeah, all of Secret are starting to get stuff except for Puppy, but yeah, this is going to be tough because when Antimage starts getting his items, we've seen before plenty of times today how dangerous that can be. And Navi, they have to work on a timing. That's the only way that you can do this. So it seems maybe this is a BKB from Razor, but it might just be the Aghanim straight up.
It looks like a BKB. It really does at this point, because if he goes directly for an Aghanim Scepter, the push might be good, but there's just so many ways he can be controlled.
Yeah.
Unless Puck picks up an Aghanim Scepter, he's still going to feel fairly free with a BKB.
Yeah, it's an issue working on a timing. Ideally, you want to have both of those
Snako.
items. Snako is going to fly away.
Yeah, Arctic does the work, but the Snowball actually chasing him down. This Arctic doesn't have long left on it, and with S4 jumping in, they find a really, really nice pick
Oh, and
off.
a tower. Just seems to be a tower here, and they
When in
just
Rome.
removed that one as well. Exactly.
So it's just passing through. Dendy's moving up to the Dire jungle. I think he might be looking for either the anti-mage.
He was spotted, though, so they're not going to find anything within this rotation here as he went through mid.
Don't think Arteezy really cares anyway. Like, he's looking for something else.
Arteezy is just looking for gold, man.
Oh.
That's all he wants.
He had the double damage rune on him and he would have considered Phonic, but with no support, the fissure thrown out by Artstyle, it's not the best place to go. There's a big ancient stack that's happening.
Oh my god, that stack.
Yeah.
It's actually a dirty stack. What is this?
When this Battle Fury gets done, Arteezy moves down to farm it up. If they can have a little bit of help from Dazzle or Tusker, that would actually be almost the entire Yasha for anti-mage.
Yeah.
It could even be an ultimate orb for anti-mage with that amount of creeps.
It could be. It's a 5-stack ancient right now, so that's plenty of creeps.
Looks like Secret again. They're going to smoke up 4 men.
Yeah, but they're
Pretty
drawing
high
on
up.
the map.
Yeah, look at our style scribble. It's like they are here. Secret are here. And he's pinging out saying, yo, Dendy, be
Dendy.
really, really careful about this. Zai, it's S4 jumping in for the silence. The Boros Punch going to follow up. All the warning was there, and Dendy jumps himself away, surviving on 20 HP. The Song of the Siren will come up. You lost Phonic, you lost Arstyle in the meantime to Arteezy in the top river.
Yeah.
But Dendy should be counting his lucky stars he's alive.
He definitely should. That was really, really, really close. Man, just a little bit extra and he would have died there. But a lot of stuff was used by Secret, so Navi now trying to pressure mid. Havost is like, okay, you have cooldowns, I'll try and pressure. But still a little bit intimidating going into this as they do have mech.
Oh, a little ensnare on Phonic.
Oh, the silence.
Actually, Silenced it back in again! He couldn't stop the dive. They're right in front of the Nova. They don't have enough time, though, with Dendy jumping back in again. S4, he's going to die. So is Kurokai. And Dendy chasing up after Zai. They're really going in deep. And do they have a Vortex? Yes, they do. Zai's going to be dragged back in and killed off. And what was starting to look like a good engagement for Secret turns around on top of Navi.
That was beautiful
on top
execution.
of Secret. For Navi.
Yeah, beautiful execution by Navi. Top, they're defending this as well, so not going to lose a tier 1. Might not, yeah, they're going to get the tier 1 tower mid as well for Dendy. That was a good recovery for Dendy.
That's huge for him, because that's practically his Orchid. It's the second Oblivion Staff, and I'm seeing a Force. You're actually right, man. It is a rushed Aghanim Scepter. He's got the other 2 1k items over on the Courier at the moment.
I'm so smart, man.
You are.
So smart.
Oh, render
okay,
on,
so
render onto Waga.
they have the full Orchid now on Storm. That's going to allow them to go after the Anti-Mage because he does not have his Manta Style yet. So you can actually go in, silence the Anti-Mage, and catch him and punish him. However, Storm might need help to bring him down. Solo, it's a little bit hard.
He hasn't got his Manta Style yet.
Yeah, but look at that stack.
Yeah.
Gonna help tank it for him, and the Heal Bomb. Heal Bomb works on Ancients as well, so all these illusions are gonna run in.
And then boom.
Yeah.
Riptide and Cleave. And how much do you get? So he starts at 972 when they start.
I mean, this hurts. Kuroki can tank it much better than the Anti-Mage can. He's so much more tanky.
So it was 972, and now he's sitting at, with his last Black Dragon and Lizard going to go down, 2100. That's a full ultimate orb if he wants it.
Yeah, and he will actually pick up the Vladimirs.
At the same time as Sadeko. Oh, they found S4. With the Observer Ward going down, Denny was just a quick jump into an Orchid to find the kill.
Did not even mention that, but yes, of course, Puck is going to go into the Yule Scepter, but he's far from it. And until you have that, you're also a very good target for the Orchid Storm. I like that he did not go for the Bloodstone in this game, because that would have been terrible. Orchid is amazing here. Blitz would smile.
Looks like Arteezy bypassed the ultimate orb.
Yeah.
Just the casual Yasha. And so, Navi, do you feel confident enough with this Aghanim Scepter now 300 gold, sorry, away for the Razor, and your Orchid up and running, even a double damage rune on the Storm Spirit? Do you look for the openings? Do you try and take tier 2 towers?
I think there are 2 things to look for. First, you gotta make Secret blind. You have to find these wards and get rid of them, because as long as Secret know where you are, they're gonna play around you. So if you can kill the wards, then you definitely have the chance to get pickoffs with Storm, and then the push will come naturally with this Aghanim. I think they're in a pretty good spot, but Vision that's the key part to winning the game from Navi's position. They're also looking pretty close to getting their Blink on Shaker. That's a very big part.
While Shaker's being committed to just being a presence on this bot lane, Secret are keeping their distance. Arteezy's having a great time. He's farming up and pushing up the top lane, doing some damage into the tier 1 tower.
He doesn't understand why his team died earlier. Like dying means you can't farm.
And even forced a TP up from Dendy. So this push on bottom is just directly into the tower, nothing more.
Yeah, it definitely is. And Secret moving together a lot here, but they were also scouted by the good word by Navi here. So they see that everyone is going towards mid.
Dendy in the trees. Poppy's going to walk up right behind him. He hasn't moved just yet. Now Dendy reveals himself, denying up the tower at the same time as the Airshake kills the bottom, but there's so many people on top.
S4 will happily jump this. He has CD Blink. 2 more seconds.
1 second. There it is. Silence. He's got the Dream Call available as well. Dendy doesn't care too much about that, but he cares about being silenced into the shards as well. That Phoenix dive up. Funnick, he does have Nova available. S4 being put under. It's the ultimate right now of Seneko that was holding him there, but the Shallow Grave and Orb away under the cover of the Song of the Son of Kuro, also TPing himself away to safety. They're out.
They're out safe, and they got the most important kill that they could possibly get, killing off the Storm.
And Arteezy continues to farm the entire time.
Yeah.
And this is the Mandasar. You talked about that critical moment when you had that Orchid over on the Storm Spirit before the Mandasar arrived on Arteezy.
Yeah.
He's now recipe away.
Yeah, he's very close to getting it. I like the fact that he did not go for Vladimir's old top lane. Diving on Funnick here. He might go down. Very close. But he's gonna be fine. But yeah, he skipped the Vladimir's in this game, which he hasn't done before, but that's only because he knows Manta timing is extra important here.
And that does mean you can just go in for the heart later on.
Yeah. He might even go back towards the Vladimir's, but I would be surprised to see that. I think he will skip it entirely since he didn't purchase it.
You could always get
before the
someone like
meta.
Zai to buy it up for the team. I know it's great to have on the anti-mage himself, but...
Yeah, exactly. It's great if someone has it. He does have the ring, though, so he could, of course, go into it if he wants to.
That was probably the intention at the start, but...
Yeah.
Mandasar up, 23 minutes in. Looking good.
Delivered. And Navi right now, they have pretty good idea of where Secret are. They just need to get out on the field and start taking over, because the more Secret control the map, the more they will just win the game, choking you out slowly.
Well, Secret can really control a lot of the map anyway. When Kuro moves his illusions around like he does, like he's riptiding down creep waves and forcing out the lane, and they're going to jump in and take Roshan, in fact. So there's no Vlads. But you do have the sigil, and it shouldn't be too difficult to bring down Roshan with the damage they have.
Yeah, it seems that Navi have the same idea, though. They realized, but are they in time? They're actually too late.
S4, look at him right behind. He's got an invis
Oh,
rune sitting on top of the hill. Havorse will jump himself in. The shards will be there, and then S4, a 3-man silence and coil. Havorse isolated from the rest of the team. He's got practically no mana whatsoever. Now Dendy jumping in. The Aegis Immortals in the hands of the Anti-Mage and the Nova. Perfect position till the Mana Void. It does so much work, and the Anti-Mage still alive for now. Puppy with a Shallow Grave. He still doesn't die himself. Funnick, he's trying to jump himself. Well, actually, no, he's trying to just kill off anyone else who's left behind.
Yeah, he has
and
the
that's
Aegis.
Arteezy. He's running over. Arteezy still wants to try and kill off Dendy. He could blink and burn a little bit more of the mana, but goes up to Snako. He's got
S4 and
Arctic burn
Arteezy.
off. Yep, S4 jumps up. They keep the vision on Snako, but he jumps down inside the pit, but S4 follows him with a blink dagger. Snako
he has a gem.
crawling himself away, but now he's down for the count. The gem, as you said, also on the ground. And Team Secret getting the advantage at the end of the fight.
Oh, that is so sad for Navi there. They die and lose the gem that they just purchased, going the way of Secret now, so that they can get rid of Navi's wards instead. That is absolutely the worst feeling when you don't even get time to deward a single ward with your gem. Man, very nice play by Secret. That jump by S4, he just shows us why he's one of the names that comes into your mind when you think about Puck.
Yep.
Actually one of the best Pucks out there, for sure.
Arteezy, Dandy, huge jump up, and Arteezy, the Orchid damage is not enough to kill him, and still, even then, it's an Aegis to the Immortal he would have popped only.
Yeah, and he has to back out because he's scared of the Mana Void. That would definitely have punished him hard if he kept going.
The hilarious thing is, though, the damage dealing, which came out during that fight, was all from Arteezy. And in fact, now Arteezy is not dead.
No, not dead.
Wait, what?
In fact, deliver.
TP out. Havorse too late.
Oh.
He triggered a jump charge for that one. He's only got one left. And he does actually go back for the blast.
He did. So, gonna try and stay on full HP at all times. I can understand how the Vlads is gonna be useful as well. Against the Racer, for example, who has an ulti that removes armor from you all the time, it's nice to have the little extra armor as well. And it just speeds up your farming so much. So, we're gonna see probably a lot of 5-man team fights from now on. I don't think that Secret will stop 5-manning when they have the gem.
Especially when they 5-man smoke move.
Yeah, especially against this Storm, because you don't want to split up against the Storm.
Well, Dendy's on the other side of the tree line, but he's got a haste rune as well as having 2/3 of his mana, so that's a pretty difficult kill to find. But the easier one they can find is in mid lane. You see the Splinter Blast come out from the tree line, so they know Seneko plus Phoenix are here.
If they can go on Seneko, that would be the best.
Well, he's the big one to silence.
They're gonna see art style.
Well, they found Style, at least RTZ found him, but they really do want Snako. A double silence from S4 once again with the Dream Core, but the Echo Slam. It's a fresh Blink Dagger on Style, but the damage output, not enough. The Snowball plus the Song.
They're not taking any damage. Secret are just backing out.
Yep.
Oh, he dove into the Song. Stops the dive.
RTZ wants to jump again. He's got Mana Void available.
Yeah, they can't take this fight. Navi has to back out.
Even the Radiant's Courier getting sniped off at the same time. S4 back in again with a silence into Orb. Phonic having to walk away the old-fashioned way. He does not have his Icarus dive available. And Zai, Snowball is up and running. In fact, RTZ just blinks forward. The Static Link starts from a force, but RTZ Glimmercape not only lost 28 points of damage, they'll still take this tier 1 tower in the mid.
It's such a difference when you have Aegis and how confident you can play in the team fights. It really shows.
Especially on an anti-mage. Like, I suppose this anti-mage is a lot more farmed up than we'd expect from like the 15-minute anti-mages with Aegis to the Immortal.
And he never died. He's 4-0-6. Yeah, we talked about slowing down his farm. Yes, he didn't farm that much on the laning stage, but after that, they never got a pick off on him. Not a single one. Even with the early orchid timing, they couldn't organize 2 people to go into the jungle and kill the AM. Because RTZ has great map reading.
So Navi aren't slowing down the anti-mage's farm. S4 now has a Yule Scepter, so he's got something against the initiation of the Storm Spirit. And Song of the Silence has been massively effective. The Blink Dagger's on Tuskar for initiation. And even Kuro's walking around with the Glimmer Cape and Gem. Now they go on bottom lane, but Zai blinked himself up. The Force will find him, and this is the death of Zai.
That's a very nice pickoff for Team Navi. As nothing else is really going on the map. They don't lose anything during this time, and that's an important kill.
Apart from anti-mage farming. And where does actually AM go here? When the Aegis time's out, is it time for BKB? Or is it time for
I think
like,
Heart.
just the bigger items?
I think Heart is a fine build. Like, if you go BKB here, you can still get frozen by Winter Wyvern. I don't know. It would have been okay, but I would trust the Heart more.
Looks like RTC's going to back up for now. We'll watch it. I know, doesn't it seem a little weird when you stack up both Heart and Vladimir's together? I know the new Vlad's is nice and strong, but...
No, not really. I mean, you're going to sell the Vladimir sooner or later anyway, so you're not going to keep that for very long as an anti-mage. You have to think about finalizing your 6 slot and thinking about what items you want to have in this game against it. I think Navi don't really have enough to take long fights, and if you can just survive the initial burst from them, then you're always going to prevail and win the team fight.
Well, RTZ has enough for the Reaver if he wants to buy it, so if it is going to be a Heart, he could just invest into that life right now.
Yeah, BKB is going to make him stronger right now, though, than going into a Heart build right now.
So maybe the question we should be asking is Navi ready to fight? And do you need that BKB now?
Do they want to finish now, or do they want to add up like 2 more items on AM first? Because actually Navi are...
Kill on bottom lane. Dendi, he doesn't know that now he will. He'll see the shards coming down, jumps out. Hello, Zai. Simple Orchid and Vortex back in again. Arstar will help out. RTZ was there.
Yeah, he wants to punish the Storm.
He stopped him!
He does get it.
Oh, punish is there. Cancels the TP out. Even S4 finding Arstal on the side with a Dream Call, giving a double kill to RTZ. Now 4.7k gold in the bank.
Looking too easy. Oh, this is really terrible for them. That was a quick counter TP as well by the Anti-Mage and Puck. Both of them TP'd immediately as the Tusk was initiated upon. So they were pretty much baiting out that jump.
RTZ's going into his own world, buys a Basher.
Yeah. And Basher is a very strong item as well. So if you go Basher into any of the later, like any of your finalizing 6 items, it's going to be really effective against, for example, Razor, who's chasing down Puppy.
It's Puppy, yeah. Puppy knows he's dead.
Puppy.
But also, he's really committing to kill this former captain.
Yep.
And S4, he may punish him for it. There's still a lot of damage. There's 224 points of damage stolen. And he's got no other help, so yeah. Might want to wait a little bit longer. But Snako showing himself on the lane now. That's a lot easier kill for S4 to take.
It definitely is. He's going to dive after that.
And he sees the vision. Zai right behind him. The Yule Scepter still got Walrus Punch and Falble, sensing him up. And with the shards and Sigil, Snako has to call to brace himself. But now in comes RTZ. You're giving more kills to an anti-mage. This is dangerous. He is wicked sick. It's 706 on an anti-mage who has almost 300 CS in 32 minutes.
Yeah, he's looking extremely farmed right now. And the net worth really tells the difference here as he's up to 19,000.
626 gold per minute is what he's got.
Yeah, just miles ahead of everyone else. So this is a terrifying animation. Just going into the full Abyssal Blade, why not? If he does that, he can kill off any hero he wants to by jumping them, apart from maybe Razor. So that could be a fine build. If you feel confident enough, Abyssal is definitely the item to go.
There's just not a lot of survivability in that lineup.
Yeah, but if he hasn't died a single time yet, then maybe it's working already.
I suppose, too, you still got your spell shield. Like, how much physical damage are you really scared of here?
Yeah, not that much, honestly. So going into Abyssal Blade and just being more aggressive.
Secret, S4 blinks himself down. There's more support coming into the Nova with the Echo Slam from R-Style, punishing Team Secret. Puck died so quickly. Zaya's going to join him in the grave. Both almost a minute on the sideline.
Yeah, very big kills there, getting 2 of the cores from Team Secret, and there's plenty of gold going into Navi's pockets.
Yeah, 823 coming into the Earthshaker. All of them got just shy of 1,200 experience from the kills. Meanwhile, in the northern part of the world, it is the Anti-Mage taking out the Tier 2 tower, walking past the shop, and it will in fact be confidence from Arteezy.
Oh, he might go on Dendi immediately, as he has the Abyssal Blade now. Does he have
could.
mana already?
At the same time, he might be a little bit more worried about middle lane. Kuro leaping himself back right now behind the tower, the Glimmer Cape, but the Link is staying on here, and Kuro has to use Song of the Siren. He can hold him here, and now Dendi jumping on Arteezy.
Oh, he's got killed
he
Storm.
actually went all the way in. Now also with the ulti is that curse, but Arteezy, he Mana Styles out, Blink is available, he's up on the tree line. No Arctic Burn, and Arteezy, he'll blink himself away to safety.
Yeah, that was pretty close, but that was with so much help.
Okay.
All the disables
He's fine.
going their way. Yeah, cutting the trees and just getting away there. He's got lifesteal up, and he probably doesn't even have to back from this because of the Vladimirs. And that's one of the powers of buying this item, actually not being able to, or having to back. Man, that was close to him killing the Storm instead, though. If they weren't fast on the disables there, but they did a good job chainless disabling him.
Yeah, instead it wasn't him jumping in, it was Dendi jumping in on him.
Yeah,
That's why the disable was on Navi's terms.
exactly.
So Roshan's alive again, and Arteezy has arrived. So we give Arteezy the Aegis to the Immortal this time around. There will be cheese next time, but for now, well, who's close? Dendi's in the neighborhood. He's got mana to jump in, but it'll be pretty damn risky to commit himself
He
to
sees
this.
people going into Roche Pit, though. I don't know. It would be too risky, as you say. They have too many quick disables that they can throw out. Even just a Puck Silence would stop him completely.
Yep.
So I don't think they should go for that play. AM going into the enemy jungle here. He has cooldown Blink, but he does see the Storm right there.
I'll say he was only here for the farm unless he saw a hero.
Yeah. I mean, when you have the Abyssal Blade, you always look to find anyone you can, because every single target on Navi is a fine target for him to jump on, apart from the Razor.
There is a downside, though, for Arteezy. The fact that now he's carrying this Aegis the Immortal, he doesn't have a TP back. The top creep wave has a little bit of momentum, but it means if this bottom lane play doesn't work,
I think they want to fight anyway with the Aegis, and right now they're
Navi
going to
wanna
find a fight.
They're going to smoke up and make his way in, but you've got the Song of the Siren available. They can actually keep Havorst away from this one. S4 put under for the moment. The Shallow Grave keeping him alive. Yulsep are up, and Dendi, he's actually the one that contemplates. Arsal jumps in for the Echo Slam. They get the kill over on Kuro, and that Nova is about to hit the ground. They're not killing it in time. Arteezy, he does blink away, so there won't be a stun from this. And Dendi isolated underneath Popping and Zai. There's your Shallow Grave again with a TP out. Well, that'll get cancelled, and Dendi will drag it back
they're
in,
cleaning
killing
up
off Poppy.
everyone.
And all of Secret, apart from Arteezy, ends up dying.
Wow, that was such a nice initiation, finding the puck. If you can get on the puck, a Storm, instead of him jumping you, that's a huge difference in the fight and how it plays out. And this is a lot of momentum going the way of Navi. Maybe they can force high ground in a pretty short amount of time, because look at Razor. Look at his item progression. He's going in to the Refresher build. So when he has the double BKB and double ulti, he can actually pressure high ground really nicely.
Yeah. So one more fight and they could do that. But for now, the Tier 2 towers still remain for Team Secret. So just walking up to go against the Tier 3s and the racks of Secret is still a fair distance away. And you also didn't kill Arteezy. He's the biggest man on the field. He's probably worth just as much to kill as all 4 of his allies combined.
Yeah. I was surprised that they went so aggressive with everyone else instead of just putting the AM a little bit more in the front, as he has the Aegis.
Yep.
God, the golems just splitting into so many more creeps. Kind of inflates your CS score, actually.
Imagine what happens when he does pick up a butterfly. There's no physical damage that will even have a chance to connect on him. Everything will have to be through magical.
Yeah, but everything is pretty much through magical. That's why I was thinking about the heart to begin with. There's only really the Razor and his physical damage output. Even the Storm's right click is mostly magical.
Oh, 5-man smoke from Secret. Looking for their opening. They'll walk underneath the Radiant Observer Board, and they see Havors as well as Funnick. Funnick's the first one to get silenced, but Arteezy walking forward and actually blinking over Havors. He does not want to be here. Not yet, at least. Not while that BKB is up and they go on art style. The Abyssal Blade instantly from Arteezy. He moves down deeper, looking for the bash, but cannot get the hit on Seneko. Now he goes in deeper.
Oh,
Second hit bash he gets, and the Mana Void to ensure the kill. The gem dropped down, and they go in even more. Havors being controlled up by Zai with the perfect Walrus Punch, and they're going in after Dendi with the Snowball. Who's in
so
that
much
is
mana.
just Zai. But he'll blink away in 1 second time. Actually, not before the Orchid. In from Dendi and Kuro. He won't get there in time, or will they? Arteezy, the aggressive man at the front lines, forcing Dendi back.
Yeah, very aggressive. The fights are so back and forth. Last fight we saw Navi not losing a single one and killing Secret. Now it's Secret who doesn't lose a single player as they smoke up and find Navi there. Gonna pressure high ground now, and Razor's dead for 45.
Yeah, and the only buybacks is Storm, Wyvern, as well as Phoenix at the moment.
And so many illusions just swarming this tower. Oh, this is looking grim. I don't think they can hold the mid-racks. It's gonna be tough, but with Winter Wyvern respawning, maybe they can.
With no Razor, it's still difficult. And you do have an Echo Slam. So when the creep wave will arrive, you'll have a chance. You
The
can
Aegis
harass
is not gonna last
Arteezy.
much longer.
How much longer has it got? Arteezy?
I don't remember, actually. I didn't time it.
It's got another 50 seconds.
Okay.
So it's got time.
So it's good for this one push then.
Yep. But with Razor spawning in 8 seconds time, there's no reason to take the risk. Just back it up. The Aegis will time out, and then Arteezy gets his next big item. We actually get an Aghanim Scepter over on a Naga. Now, we don't get to see this very often.
Yeah. Aghanim Scepter is a pretty interesting item on Naga, but the way they use it, it could be very nice, because very often they don't use it to set up the fight, they use it to disjoint it. And now instead of backing out and keeping base...
Arstyle, Arteezy! He goes in, the Cold Embrace will keep Arstyle alive, but the Shards trying to actually stop us, so Arstyle just can't walk away. In fact, it's the Naga Siren who will get the Riptide kill on him.
Oh boy, Arstyle's dying again. He got picked off early in last fight too.
No buyback.
Yeah.
There's no Echo Slam for this fight, so Arteezy, they've still got how long left? It's only 5 seconds, roughly, on this Aegis the Immortal. In fact, not even that. The Aegis Immortal is gone. They cancel the regeneration. Arteezy, I hope he knows. Right now he's being cursed up, and the BKB's isolating him up. The blink away from Arteezy as Havors, who is the only man out here fighting. Now the BKB wears off. As the Song of the Siren was controlling him. Remember, that heals up all of Team Secret.
Yeah, 6% per second. It's a lot of heal.
Arteezy's in. They go for a Force. The Abyssal Blade still on cooldown for the moment. But then, the Mana Void just tearing apart both Funnick and Force.
Oh
they
God,
go in
they're
deeper.
just being rolled.
That could be it right now. You'll take mid-ranks at least.
Yeah, I mean, there's 70 seconds on your Razor, and Winter Wyvern also gone. The Shaker is up again, but now his team is dead. Where's team? I don't think they can do much. This bottom racks is definitely dead. The illusions are on them as well.
If you come to defend it, you're just going to get Abyssal Blade by Arteezy. And you're seeing, like, Arteezy's moving forward, seeing if there's any target he can Abyssal Blade and just get a quick pick off. Keep the number advantage going the way of Team Secret.
Yeah, definitely. They have been together, and they will soon have...
Arteezy jump. There's your hit. No Abyssal Blade. That was just a first hit bash. And now the Yule Scepter that's fresh over on S4, sending him up, and Dendi silenced in. And this really is the game. Arteezy's in deep. They get the ensnare off. And well, Arteezy Vortex, he doesn't really want to die in this situation. He blinks himself away. He's still 13-0-9. They get a hell of a lot of gold for that one. Storm Spirit, he bought back. So did Phoenix. They're chasing up to Puppey. The Nova is down, and Puppey, Shallow Grave and TP. No Vortex for 3 seconds, but the stun from Funnick will cancel the TP. But Arteezy back into the world of the living. He's protected by the Lincoln Spear, hitting on Dendi, and they're going to bring him down. They just can't kill Arteezy. The Tuskar bot was the man that actually claimed the kill.
I think that's the game. There's absolutely no way you can turn this game, but Navi, they're fighting to the very bitter end, trying their very best. They're selling everything on Razor, trying to get the Refresher.
He's got the double ulti up.
He has the BKB Axe and a Refresher remaining. That's all he needs.
All right, Havors, what have you got, man? Does he turn on the heat? Arteezy still again protected by Lincoln Sphere. Phoenix sent up by Zai. Havors, he's turned on one of the oldies, actually both of the oldies for now, trying to find it. Arteezy moves in. Abyssal plays back off cooldown. The stun over on Havors, and they're just tanking it. Kuro tried to isolate him with the Song of the Siren. Now he's got to turn it off, and actually being controlled by the fissure of art style. They don't have vision of him, so the Glimmer Cape allowing Kuro to survive a little bit longer. Mirror images himself, and maybe the shards from Zai locking him in place. Secret actually bailing out this one, even with a buyback from Navi. Dandy, long jump in, triggers the Lincoln Sphere on S4. Arstal, however, still down. He's in the middle of the fight. Havors is so low. It's the kill from the creep wave onto Razor. Dandy will also die, but it's GG. Secret will go 2-0 in their doubleheader games here at TI5 today. Looking strong and looking in charge.
Yeah, Secret played really good. 2-0 in their first game today, 2-0 in their second.
We thought might have been, shaky start, like 1-1 up against Fnatic.
Yeah.
They've hit back in every game of the International and just proven why people think they will be in the grand final and potentially taking the whole enchilada. They hit 10 points, leveling themselves up with LGD. Yeah. Solid performance by Team Secret. We're going to say goodbye for us too. There'll be more action coming up, but for now, we'll throw it back over towards the panel as they get to tell us why this happened.
See you tomorrow.
All right, so yeah, game 2 wraps up, and we do have Secret going 2-0. Unfortunate, of course, final result for Navi. Again, not out of the tournament. No one's going to be out of the tournament during group stage, but it is going to matter a lot. Navi looks like they are going to be locked down now in the bottom half of their group. But let's talk about Secret securing that game. Before we jumped into the game, you guys said, again, it's all about the execution. It's all about how did they deal with Arteezy's anti-mage. And it sounded like they were doing much better than they were in game 1 in the early phase. What did you guys think? Where, how well were they doing, and where did it slip off? Syndrome, what are you about?
Oh, I think this game Arteezy got a 19-minute Treads Battle Fury, which is definitely slower than last game. And the composition from Navi, they actually played it pretty well in the early game. Looking at their play in these 2 games and also how they have lost games against, they dropped a game against Complexity, I believe, kind of in the same fashion. Their early game's actually explosive and pretty good. When it comes to the mid-game, like how they distribute resources around the map, how they take their fights, their shot calling in mid-late game is what needs work. So far in both games, they did a pretty good job against Secret early on. And, that's just Team Secret's absolute biggest strength, in my opinion, is their experience. Their decision-making is incredible. And Navi just falling short both games to pretty much the same thing. Just overall strategizing, they were not as good. But they are showing some serious strength in the early game, and if they can get over those mid-game problems, they could technically go pretty far.
Yeah, I mean, Ben, what do you think? We talked about earlier how Navi, many people were expecting them not even to make it into TI5 this year, which in some ways would have been a shock just historically considering they've been here so often. But at the same time, now are they in fact looking a lot better than most people expected, and maybe people can expect them to go further than maybe even just like the bottom half of the overall TI.
Yeah, they fared decently versus other teams in their group. I just think Secret's a really tough matchup for them because of their history together and just their general play style. Secret's like one of the teams that just doesn't really get thrown off by the early game, and they will sacrifice deaths in order to get more farm. And as you said, the overall strategy is just not there. It's not a winning one versus Secret, that is.
So let's take a quick look at a highlight as we continue wrapping up just our thoughts about this game. Game 2 of Navi versus Secret. We do have a highlight of one of the Roshan fights here.
So this was the fight where they got a huge supernova from Fnatic.
Yeah, Navi almost securing this fight completely.
This is a really important play by S4, getting in and getting that 3-man Dream Call on silence. Even though technically Secret do lose this fight in the end, I guess it's like a 4-for-2 or 3-for-2 or something. The engage from S4 buys time for them to secure Roche and put them in a really good position. If he doesn't jump them right there, there's a chance that Phoenix can get an Icarus dive and get Fire Spirits on all of them, and then they can barely hit Roche. And even if they manage, they will all take the full combo immediately after, and they will lose the Aegis too, which they just held on to for a very long time. I think it might have even just expired in this game. I don't think Arteezy ever used it.
Yeah, I don't think he got a chance to use it, for better or worse, of course, in his favor. Winter, what are your thoughts looking at Team Secret? everyone's saying they are the favorites. Obviously, they're looking a lot better today. They are showing why, just continuously in other lands too. This is what we saw from Secret, that they sacrificed the early game a little bit, and then they're like, look, that's because we know we can win mid to late game. What are your thoughts about game 2?
I think for Team Secret, definitely they suffered a little in the early laning phase, but their decision making and execution later on was far better than Navi. But if you're a Navi fan right now, you look back in the last couple of series and you compare it to the yes, they lost 2-0 to Secret, but then again they are a formidable opponent. So the positive thing I feel that you can take away is there was improvement from the last few series. Less mistakes I see in general for Navi, even though they didn't really execute out towards the late game, but there's improvement. And in the format right now, as long as you bring your best during the playoffs, you're still going to have a good chance of getting a high placement.
Yeah, that's true. And again, we talked about this earlier. That can happen and has happened in past TIs where, sure, you start or you go down to the lower bracket and then you continue to just cruise through it until the very end, even the finals, and winning it all. So we have another highlight here, again, showcasing, like you mentioned, Navi did play well. I mean, they did show improvement, and they have another fight win here for Navi against Secret. So clearly, certain aspects about Navi's team is still there. They're definitely in their prime about certain aspects, just maybe a little bit needs to be better rounded as we go to the
Yeah, this was the fight where they got the jump on the puck first before the puck managed to drop even ultimate or anything else on the team. So they got the initiation, they made the first move, and they got a 4-0, I want to say, in this fight.
Yes, I do believe so.
Yeah, but at the same time, their failsafe in the Naga ultimate didn't go off. They have like so many failsafes. Naga ultimate, Dazzle Grave, or like counter initiation with puck. I feel like just the way that Secret generally drafts, though. And unfortunately, we haven't seen anything too different from them. This is what I would say is a very standard draft. The last 2 games have been anti-mage games. We saw Tusk Techies
Kentucky's.
And at the same time, teams don't really seem like they don't seem to know how to deal with this, and Secret has been running this for months. So if they actually bring something new and different, like they brought like Bloodseeker during the month of May, I'm really scared for teams that have to face them going later into TI.
Yeah, we discussed how, okay, sure, Secret, they've done that in the past, but it's TI, there's 2 weeks, other teams have been boot camping, they have time to adapt. But it looks like Secret for now, they're not going to let go of that steam. They are just going still full charge ahead, looking for that championship title.